That's right. Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers. Tiki here.
And this is Eli from Little Blue Productions.
That's right. And tonight, on the night before the 2026 Oscars, Eli, you and I are going to go through and we're going to talk about every single race for the best animated feature Oscar over the past 25 years. This is a real milestone year for the category, of course. It's been 25 years since it started. Um, we'll just start right off with 2001 because, Eli, believe it or not, and this wasn't even just strictly because of the best animated feature category. 2001, for whatever reason, that was the year that I really started getting into movies. Honestly, I think a big part of it was Lord of the Rings. Fellowship of the Ring had come out that year. It was nominated for a bunch of Oscars. So 2001 really was the first time where I was like actively following the Oscars. Like I think at this point, like if a subject matter of a movie that was nominated didn't really appeal to me, I wouldn't go out of my way to see it, which honestly, like nowadays, I go out of my way to see everything, and it's been that way for a long time. But so yeah, we got a category all our own, because I was like, what, like 10 years old at the time, probably. And we got best animated feature. And Eli, the big thing I remember about this is during the actual ceremony, and I'm sure you've probably seen the footage, I'm guessing, where when they're announcing the award, they show the different characters, like, like sitting in the crowd.
Oh yeah, I mean it's definitely I've seen it. It's definitely out there on YouTube.
For sure, for sure.
Yeah, because
But I remember
for
seeing
the I
it
mean
live, man.
must have even for that age mind blowing to see those characters there at the Oscars.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. It was pretty fun.
Yeah, because
Um,
it began. It began, of course, in 2002, and for the best animated films from the previous year, that they were the first ones to be nominated for best animated
you know
feature.
what? I'm just gonna go in like the release year. All right, that's just gonna be easier for me to track. Is that okay with you?
Sure, yeah,
So we're starting with 2001. All right, and we'll
right.
go from there.
And here's the thing, because you've said your part for me, because well, I was born in 2001, but for me, I just so happened to have been born just 1 year before the best animated feature category began. So that's quite something for anybody, for any 2000s baby, if they were born in 2001, to be born right before that category was born. So
Yeah, that's interesting for sure. Because
hmm
2000, because the best animated feature Oscar was the only significant cultural thing that happened in 2001.
uh-huh.
I'm sorry, I'm making a dark joke. I'm sorry, I apologize.
Fine by me.
All right, anyways. All right, so Eli, let's get to the nominations here. We got a pretty decent little lineup. We got Monsters Inc., we got Shrek, the original Shrek, and Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius, which nowadays, Eli, looking at the movies that came out in 2001, there is a very, very distinct movie I would swap out for this. Can you think of what it is that came out in 2001?
That, of course, being Monsters Incorporated.
Well, Monsters Incorporated was nominated.
Yes, but it could have, like, well, point being is that it should have. Oh, I guess I misunderstood, but point being is
No,
that
I'm talking. I'm talking. There's a pretty distinct like cult classic animated movie that came out in 2001 that did not get
Oh, right,
nominated.
yeah. Okay, did not get. Okay, I kind of misheard, but yeah.
My
Okay,
bad.
which one is it?
Atlantis.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong on that. Because the
So
thing
I think
is,
Atlantis probably in the grand scheme of things probably deserved it more than Jimmy Neutron. I always thought that even as a kid, I thought that Jimmy Neutron was kind of like the odd one out in this equation.
yeah, because it's kind of unfair that the first year of the best animated feature, not a single hand drawn animated film was nominated, not even Atlantis.
Right, that's what I'm saying. You have Atlantis right there.
Uh huh.
Well, fortunately, they're going to remedy that because the very next year, I believe, is when Ghibli wins. So we'll get to that. But
Of course.
Of course, here Shrek wins. Shrek versus Monsters Inc. This has been a pretty hot debate. Where do you land on it, Eli? Do you think Shrek should have won, or do you think if Monsters Inc. would have won, it would have held up better?
I mean, in all honesty, because, like, I mean, let's face it, at that time when Shrek came out, it was unlike anything that the world of movies had seen, and Shrek did the impossible, and with, computer animation and with the fairy tales and all that, the way that the humor and storyline was delivered, unlike anything. And I understand with its win and all that, and all due respects to Shrek, of course I have the utmost respect for the first Shrek film, and I don't really see anything that bad for it having won the first ever Oscar for Best Animated Feature. But if I had to choose, in all honesty, on which animated film should have won that year, I would really, as much as I really enjoy the first Shrek film, I would definitely go for Monsters Incorporated, because, let's face it, the impact that Monsters Incorporated left, especially because at that time when it came out, it was one of
Monsters
those
Incorporated really kind of like proved Pixar could do more than Toy Story, because Bug's Life was like a modest success. Then they did Toy Story 2, and I feel like Monsters Incorporated really like blew the lid off of like, oh shit, okay, this studio can do anything.
Yes, and also it was gonna lead me into saying this, that at the time this came out, this was like everybody just thanked Disney and Pixar for giving them a film that is an escapist, post 9/11 and all that.
Right, totally.
Yeah.
Then again, I feel like Shrek is probably, Shrek probably fits. I don't know. Look, I feel like Shrek does have the cultural impact and does have a cultural footprint. Obviously, I feel like there's more memes and quotes and stuff related to Shrek than there is Monsters Inc. I think Monsters Inc. is pretty definitively the better movie. Colby, I don't know why we're using the full legal name. That's a good question.
Well,
I think Monsters Inc. is probably the better movie. I think Shrek did have the bigger cultural impact at the time, I think.
Yeah, and to reply to Kogias, even the people at Pixar call it Monsters Incorporated.
That wasn't Code Geass, that was Paragon.
Oh, Paragon, yeah, but okay, sorry. But again, just point being is that I've heard the Pixar crew and all that call it Monsters Incorporated. Like, if people call it, like, it doesn't matter if we call it either Monsters Inc. or Monsters Incorporated. Same thing.
All right, it's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move on to 2002, baby. And this is one thing I noticed that's kind of weird, is that, like, for like a long stretch of time, we get fucking like 3 nominations apiece, except for 2002, in which we get 5 nominations. I don't know.
Yeah,
that bothers my OCD just a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's interesting that there have been times that only, like, say 5 or 3 films get nominated per year at the Oscars.
Well, I'd say 2001 was 3, and then literally 2003 all the way up until 2008 is all 3 apiece, but 2002 is randomly 5.
Ah, yeah.
So, anyways, the nominees in 2002, we had the winner, Spirited Away. We had The First Ice Age. We had Lilo and Stitch, Spirit, Stallion of the Cimarron, and Treasure Planet. Hell yeah, I think that kind of makes up for Atlantis not getting nominated.
Yep.
Look, I think Spirited Away is a little overrated. I don't even know if I would put it in my top 5 Ghibli. I like it a lot. I respect it a lot. I understand its appeal. I understand why it's the most popular Ghibli film. That being said, the cultural impact that movie had, I can't deny that pretty much had to win. And I think it winning kind of did set a nice, like, precedent early on that something beyond just Disney, Pixar, or DreamWorks could win. It took them a while to get out of that rut after this, but it proved it was possible. What do you think, Eli?
Well, first off, because I agree with the whole thing of Treasure Planet, and also, like, with Ice Age. Well, that was Blue Sky's first and only. That is if you would count Noir years later. But point being is that
Look,
I
we'll
take
get
heaven to
into it,
not.
but the Peanuts movie was freaking robbed, man. We'll get into that.
Okay, but I mean, let's face it. I mean, Blue Sky had already won an Oscar a couple of years ago, which that, of course, being for Bunny. So even if they won or not for Ice Age, it wouldn't have mattered. But I mean, and I too respect uh, Spirited Away for what it is and all that, and not to mention that you know, Lilo and Stitch and Spirited Away was like tough competition. Like those were the two biggest biggies
I mean,
of
I feel like those two almost have like equal cultural impact, but here's the thing though.
yeah.
I think Lilo and Stitch obviously has the cultural impact. Like you know me, you know how much Stitch resonates with me. I literally have him tattooed on my shoulder.
And how
That
much
being
and how
said,
and how much you
go
connect
ahead.
with Lilo as well.
I do, I do. That being said, I feel like Spirited Away is such a towering artistic achievement. Whereas it's not to say that Lilo and Stitch doesn't have artistic merit to it. It certainly does. But I feel like that movie's more of a triumph of like emotion and just just simple but effective storytelling. Whereas Spirited Away, it really was like, I don't know, like if if I were voting, it would be tough for me to not vote Spirited Away just because of the pure scale of that.
Yeah.
Looks like Colby and Kogias are also not huge fans of Spirited Away. No, it's
No, I
like,
mean
let's see,
even
like,
Kogi also because he acknowledges that Studio Ghibli is his favorite film studio. So I like he likes the win even if he's not a big fan of Spirited Away.
huh. No, I mean, there's quite a few Ghibli films I would put over Spirited Away for sure.
Like
Mononoke, Ponyo,
Porco
uh,
Rosso.
Porco Rosso, yeah, definitely. No, there's quite a few. Okay, let's see. As far as animated films that, like, honestly, they got a good crop this year. They did. Like, I don't think they really left any out that was like a significant loss. Like, the only ones I could find are like Jonah, a VeggieTales movie. Oh my God, I'm sorry, Eli. Were you sad to not see Jonah, a VeggieTales movie on here?
I'm not sad, but on the contrary, I mean, it would have been nice if it would receive a nomination, but who knows if it would have been able to, really.
We have Return to Neverland. And then we have the Wild Thornberries movie. That would have been a wild nomination.
That would have been.
The Hey Arnold movie. Fucking Pokemon Heroes, the movie. So yeah, just a lot of like really like pop culture centric stuff. Oh, 8 Crazy Nights. Take out Spirit Stallion and the Cimarron, replace it with 8 Crazy Nights. There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Look, I like Jonah too, Kogias. I'm just kidding. I do think that it is funny just how stacked this year in particular was, and I think they knew. They were like, "Oh shit, we better do 5 this year."
Mm-hmm.
All right, moving on to 2003. We have, again, for the next few years, we're gonna have just 3 apiece. So we got the winner, Finding Nemo. We got Brother Bear. We have the Triplets of Belleville. Eli, I'm guessing the Triplets of Belleville is the first one that we've hit that you haven't seen.
Indeed. As of this,
Okay,
as
I
of this
have
stream,
seen it. I liked it quite a bit.
as of this stream, I still have yet to see it.
Uh-huh. I saw it a couple years ago. I did really like it. I think it was it's definitely like, it's obviously one of those like animated films where it's like, okay, this is clearly something from from a different country. I don't necessarily know if I even get all the cultural references here. It's a very different style, but I liked it a lot. I think it's definitely worth checking out.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Overall, this year was pretty freaking weak. Honestly, looking at the list, like the only thing that I think could even kind of warrant being in here would be, and I don't think either of these, like, I don't know, maybe Sinbad Legend of the Seven Seas over Brother Bear, maybe. I don't know. I'm not a
Yeah, I
big
know.
fan of Brother Bear.
I recall how you feel about Brother Bear.
Yeah, I don't really care for Brother Bear. I really wanted to like it when I did the rewatch. I really did, but
You
both
especially,
times I've seen that movie.
yeah, and you especially could not stand Rotten Took.
Yeah, yeah.
I
It's
mean,
just the amount of screen time they eat up.
yeah, I mean the thing is, like, I mean, Brother Bear getting nominated is pretty good, and because Brother Bear and Finding Nemo, both those films, like they were kind of like one of those films, Disney films for me, along with others that were like a daily watch for me at a young age. So
Oh, for sure, for sure.
yeah.
Um,
But definitely Finding Nemo. Oh, I think it's obvious that Finding Nemo, it totally deserved that
obviously,
Oscar,
obviously.
and especially Pixar finally got themselves an Oscar for one of their animated films.
And then that's going to be one of like literally like I think over 10 that they're going to win. Like we're going to go on a Pixar streak eventually.
And
And
Disney.
then I guess the only other notable one, and again, I definitely don't think even this I wouldn't put this over Brother Barry than Rugrats Go Wild.
Yeah,
I
possibly.
mean, I think Rugrats Go Wild is a really fun movie. I think it's got some really broad comedy. It's honestly one of the most genuinely like funny theatrical Nicktoon movies. But yeah, nah, it's not a serious movie.
And to randomly throw this out, because there's no way that this would have gotten a nomination because it's not fully animated, and that of course being Looney Tunes back in action. There's just no way.
No, there's definitely not. There's definitely not. Yeah. Okay. Next up we have 2004.
Oh
So we
yeah.
have the Incredibles, we have Shrek 2, and we have the cinematic masterpiece, Eli. You know what I'm about to say. Fucking Shark Tale.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't hate Shark Tale as much as most people do, but it's
Neither do
still,
I.
but let's call a spade here, okay? Like I know everybody fucking hates Home on the Range besides you and me apparently exclusively, Eli.
Well, it's
But
not okay. I'm sure there's plenty of other people out there that are just like us that do have a soft spot for Home on the Range.
I mean, I would absolutely swap out Home on the Range with Shark Tale. For me, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
But also, there's a couple kind of surprising snubs here too. We have Polar Express didn't get nominated. I find that really surprising.
Yeah, and to think, because Polar Express, that was the first fully motion capture animated film.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Let's see. And then another one I found was a little surprising that they didn't nominate it was I mean, not so much this one because this isn't necessarily an Oscar movie per se, but I do remember it made a cultural impact at the time. Team America World Police,
Oh yeah.
the Matt Stone, Trey Parker like puppet movie about like
Yeah.
like an anti-terrorist or
Yeah.
organization.
That was inspired by the Jerry Anderson puppet shows.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. I don't know. I definitely think that Home on the Range, like, I feel like it's one of those things that it just had the reputation, and I honestly think Shark Tale's reputation kind of like developed over time, and over time, like people at least acknowledge that Alameda Slim is a fun villain, and the Yodel song is a really fun song, and there are good comedic elements to that movie. I feel like people are slowly starting to warm up to Home on the Range. Whereas
Yeah, the
Shark
fact.
Tale, I feel like just gets worse and worse. As like Shark Tale is not aging well.
And also like to comment this from about Home on the Range, because another song in Home on the Range, because it's a very heartwarming song and all that, very emotional, because like Alan Menken, he will the sun ever shine again, because that was written in response to the 9/11 attacks.
Uh-huh,
So
for
there's
sure,
there's
for sure.
that, and I was gonna comment about Shark Tale also because I mean I recall knowing, because with Shark Tale just being very mixed received, and even Roger Ebert once stated that kids being confused by this and the fact that Shark Tale is too much of a parody of The Godfather.
No, Shark Tale was look, I haven't actually rewatched Shark Tale since I saw it in theaters. And when I was a kid, I I was probably about 13 when it came out.
Mm-hmm.
Like I didn't hate it. I thought it was fun, but like I didn't have a critical eye like I do now, and I certainly didn't have a critical eye for the animation. So yeah,
Yeah.
but the plot
But
is all over the place.
Yeah, but the other two that definitely, because the best ones and to be nominated, of course, Shrek 2 and The Incredibles. And, the fact that Shrek 2 was the first computer animated sequel to be Oscar nominated. But it's
And I
obvious
feel
that,
like everyone agrees that Shrek 2 is the better out of the first Shrek and Shrek 2.
yeah, I mean, that's not to say that, nothing against the first Shrek film. It's just definitely Shrek 2, like, took the next step in the franchise.
So, and I honestly think that the Incredibles versus Shrek 2, it's another situation where I genuinely I do think it's kind of close. Because we have on one side we have like the Incredibles, which still to this day might be the most like top rated Pixar movie or among them, and then you have Shrek 2, which again, huge cultural impact, one of the first animated sequel to get nominated, one of the first animated sequels to be like even bigger than the original. I mean, obviously you had Toy Story 2 before that, but I don't even think Toy Story 2 was a blockbuster on this level. I mean, Shrek 2 was huge. So it's really interesting. But at the end of the day, I do think that they made the right call with The Incredibles.
I agree. Because, I mean, let's face it, the Incredibles left a huge impact, and it took Pixar to the next step, and with Brad Bird, stepping in the Pixar studios, and there was nothing like The Incredibles, and how much of a huge impact in making animation history.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to 2005, another crop of three. We
And by
have
the way,
Wallace and Gromit, Curse of the Were Rabbit. What?
I was just good. Did you see Keeper Colby's comment about Zemeckis?
Well, yeah, he says post Forrest Gump, the Academy hates Zemeckis. I mean, yeah, that's. I mean, I think Castaway did Castaway get snubbed? I feel like Castaway was probably the last like really Oscar eligible Zemeckis movie. But
Yeah,
anyways,
and I know we've had this talk before very quickly, because even in the comments section, because I know you're not a Ridley Scott guy. You still have yet to see Gladiator, but Tom Hanks, like I won't deny his performance in Castaway is fantastic, but my guy, you are missing out on what Russell Crowe delivers in Gladiator. I'm just gonna be
no, I know. It's just not my type of movie, but I digress.
hard to believe
Okay,
that's
so
not your type of
2005, we
movie.
have Wallace and Gromit, Curse of the Were Rabbit, Corpse Bride, Howl's Moving Castle. Honestly, for me personally, just because I am not that big of a fan of Wallace and Gromit, that's going to be my first like hot take here. For
Wow.
me, I just find the humor a little too dry. I don't really find it all that rewatchable. I admire the craft. I admire the stop motion, and I think it looks really cool. It's
Oh
just
yeah.
not a movie that I feel compelled to go back to.
Uh
And
huh.
then Howl's Moving Castle, like obviously it's definitely an ambitious movie. It's one of the more ambitious Ghibli movies, but it's also one of the more messy Ghibli movies. And Monster House is like it's all right. Like it's definitely better than some of the Zemeckis motion capture movies. It's got a cool kind of Goosebumps vibe to it, but best animated
Well,
movie of the year.
Monster House didn't get nominated because
Oh,
it
I'm
did.
sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, so my bad. My bad. Okay. Corpse Bride. I never
Yes.
really thought Corpse Bride was all that good, honestly. I just thought it was
Oh.
just Tim Burton kind of trying to recapture the Nightmare Before Christmas and not really doing a great job of it.
Mm.
Honestly, for me, the movie this year that I absolutely think should have been up here, probably replacing like Corpse Bride maybe would be Madagascar.
That's true, and and now that you bring it up, because the thing is that that was the only time, first and last time that there for nominated for best animated feature, not a single computer animated film nominated.
Oh, you're right. No, you're right. That is a cool kind of milestone in that year. Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I think it just would have been nice if okay, there wouldn't be a problem if one more animated film got in there submitted, and I think if anything, that of course should have been Madagascar.
I mean, I think it's pretty obvious that like, look, like Howl's Moving Castle definitely has a cult following, and Wallace and Gromit is like kind of like a letterbox like film bro classic. I don't know. I think Madagascar, just the first Madagascar, has a way bigger cultural impact than like all three of these. I think.
Yeah, and and as for me, because like the actual the three nominations, because I mean, okay, because like my opinion for Corpse Bride, I mean, I really enjoy it for what it is. And besides, like we've talked about this before, where Corpse Bride, it was a big deal, where Tim Burton, after after many years, like was coming back with a new stop motion animated film, was a rare special event, and
Mhm.
and of course, for Wallace and Gromit being the other biggie stop motion animated film of that year, because definitely Curse of the Were Rabbit deserved that win, and not to mention that 5 years ago, Artman's first animated film, Chicken Run, which I want to acknowledge this, that if it hadn't been for Chicken Run, I don't know, because we wouldn't have gotten the best animated feature category this soon.
And Chicken Run came out in 2000, right? So it just missed the cut.
Correct. Yeah, I mean, the
Like if
thing
they would
is
have
that
run it in 2000, I think it probably would have been like Chicken Run, Emperor's New Groove, probably.
yeah, I mean, the point being is
Did Road
that
to El Dorado come out in 2000 or was that 99?
no, it was 2000.
Okay, yeah, so I like those would be the three for
Yeah,
2000.
but the point being is that very quickly to mention, because Chicken Run again was technically responsible for the Academy creating the best animated feature category, because the guys at Artman, they tried their best to have Chicken Run you know receive an Oscar nomination, most prominently Best Picture, but unfortunately they didn't get it. And because Chicken Run was popular amongst the members of the Academy, that's when they made the decision to create the Best Animated Feature category.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I like Chicken Run a lot better than I like Wallace and Gromit. No disrespect to Wallace and Gromit. It's just Wallace and Gromit is just too it's too British for me. Like I
And
don't know how else to put it.
well, I mean, there are other pieces of Artman is also British, so
All right. We
I'm just
also had
saying.
Robots this year, which is one where it's like I know that there's a lot of people that do have a big soft spot for that movie. I feel like by the time I saw Robots, I was like 14. I was kind of aging out of animated movies.
Well,
I feel like I
I mean,
appreciated Madagascar just because it was like, it had that Looney Tunes vibe to it.
yeah, I mean, I mean, I said my part, like when me and Dragon we did the 20th anniversary retrospective podcast of Robots, where back then and when it first came out, I mean, I thought it was really cool. I mean, I had seen it before, but over the years, even up to as of now, I have more love and appreciation for Robots than I did when I was young and when it first came out. So I genuinely, for me, I think it would have been nice if possibly Robots could have gotten an Oscar
Mhm.
nomination. Wouldn't have won, but hey, being nominated would have been great.
All right. So this year's pretty straightforward. How's Moving Castle is I do agree with Colby. Like it's not a perfect movie, but I think I would rank it above Spirited Away. So and a really wonky year, but like not a bad list of nominees. Okay, so and of course, Chicken Little came out in 2005, so major snub there. All right, so 2006, we have Happy Feet, we have Cars, we have Monster House. Like I said, Monster House has good Goosebumps vibes. I like it better than the Robert Zemeckis motion capture stuff. Cars, I like a lot, and I think that Cars is like, I think the first Cars movie is pretty underrated, and it kind of has that Land Before Time thing where because the sequels like really kind of like dip in quality, it kind of affects the first movie as well. But I really
Yeah.
like the first Cars, and honestly, this is the first movie that I haven't seen because I have never seen Happy Feet. It never looked appealing to me.
Well, I
And
had
it won,
recently,
so.
for me, I had recently, not long ago, had seen Happy Feet finally, and not to mention, not a few days ago, I did my review of it. So,
Uh-huh.
but yeah, looking at the Oscar nominations for 2007 of the 2006 animated films, I mean, yeah, like a good slate, because, I mean, with what you said about Cars, yeah, I mean, I would concur. And by the way, because I mean, Cars was another one of those Disney Pixar films that was, yeah, I mean, like a daily watch for me too. And golly, because I don't even want to go into the territory where, like, I was one of those that collected a good chunk of the Cars merchandise.
You were part of the problem.
Yeah, but there's that, and with Monster House, because I mean, yeah, because it's nice to see that, okay, because Polar Express did not get a nomination, at least Monster House did. And, I mean, because, yeah, I mean, like, and Happy Feet, with what that had to offer, and I think overall, because if I'd had to choose, like, for me, it'd be like a tie between the first Cars and Happy Feet. I mean, okay, like, no disrespect to Monster House. I enjoy Monster House for what it is, but, just overall, because would have been nice if Cars might have gotten it, but just overall, for what Happy Feet had to offer, and with its style of animation, all that, I think it was a well deserved win, and for George Miller and such.
But I'm going to throw two movies out here. One I absolutely know that you've heard of. Another I'd be kind of surprised if you've heard of it. But frankly, not only do I think that these two deserve to be on the list more than any of the other films that are actually on the list, I think they deserve to win over the films that were on the list. So
Yes.
the obvious one for me is Over the Hedge. Over the Hedge is a fucking
Mm,
gem of a DreamWorks movie.
really? You feel that way?
I think that Over the Hedge is a near perfect DreamWorks movie.
You're lucky that a friend of mine who actually does not like Over the Hedge, you're lucky he's not here. So, but
Dude, I
I'm
don't
on.
know, man. There's something about that cast of characters, the art
I know.
direction. Like,
Oh,
I fucking love that movie.
I'm on the same page as you. You know what? Even my mom, she loves Over the Hedge. So do I. Because
And I think
I
it's
mean,
I think it's kind of ridiculous that they nominated Over the Hedge, or they didn't nominate it. But the other one is, I believe this is Satoshi Kon's last movie, Paprika, which is all about it. Paprika is basically the movie that inspired Inception. It's all about like lucid dreaming and criminal espionage within the dreamscape and stuff like that.
yeah,
It's a trip of a movie, and Satoshi Kon is a fucking like he is an absolute master. He like I think he is right up there with Hayao Miyazaki as far as anime directors.
right.
He did
For me,
I don't know if you've ever seen Perfect Blue, Eli, but that's absolutely one to check out. That's one of the best animated movies ever made, hands down.
what Paprika is it still?
No, Perfect Blue.
Oh, Perfect Blue. Well, I think I mean, because yeah, I mean, as of the stream, I too have yet to see that film, but maybe I think I've heard of it before, but I'd have to see an image or two to be familiar with it. Like, oh yeah, it's that film. Okay.
So I just think it's a shame that Satoshi Kon, who died very young, and he only died after making like I think 5 or 6 movies, but all of
Mm-hmm.
them were masterpieces. And I think it's a shame that he didn't ever get nominated for an Oscar.
Uh huh. And before we move on, because like, of course Kogias has to say something like this, where he says that Monster House, Happy Feet, and
I
Cars.
honestly fucking agree with him. I mean, I really like Cars. I really like Cars, okay? But I'll call it mid. It hits me in a sentimental level more than it hits me in like oh yeah, that's really deep filmmaking.
I think even Doug Walker would feel the same way too, viewing Cars as mid. So
And yes, Buck Cluck is the best Disney villain, Colby.
really, do we have to go that direction? Because by the way, I meant to make this comment because I don't think there'd be any chance that even Chicken Little would have received a nomination.
Oh no! Chicken Little wasn't getting nominated, dude. Absolutely not. If Home on the Range wasn't getting nominated, Chicken Little absolutely wasn't getting nominated.
But I will, for me, I'll technically defend Chicken Little because I enjoy Chicken Little for what it is. It's not the best, but
I
I
view
like it.
Chicken Little these days as a really good time capsule of the mid 2000s, and I appreciate it
Yes,
from that perspective.
I would concur on that definitely.
Uh-huh.
It's one of those.
I
It's that
don't think
Chicken
it's a
Little.
good movie, but
Yeah, and yeah, that's a good way to put it. Because let's face it, like Chicken Little is one of those animated films in the early 2000s that's definitely
it's
a
kind of like a time capsule of the mid 2000s, the same way that Space Jam is a time capsule of the mid 90s.
there you go. That's a good way to put it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yep.
All right, moving on. We got 2007. Really, really strong. This is honestly probably the strongest lineup so far. We got Ratatouille, we got Persepolis, we got Surf's Up. I'm guessing you haven't seen Persepolis.
As of this stream, that and Surf's Up.
You haven't. Oh, Eli, you need to see Surf's Up, bro.
I know I
Oh
have to.
man.
I know I
mean,
don't know.
Persepolis isn't really your thing. I'll give you that, but Surf's Up is a fucking masterpiece.
Well, Persepolis, I mean, I'm sure I might like it, even though I haven't seen it yet. But as for Surf's Up, like, I know I haven't seen. I don't know why I haven't seen it yet, still, but I'm going to. I can assure
No,
you.
I love Surf's Up. I really do. I really like
Really?
Persepolis. I think Persepolis is it's a really bold, kind of autobiographical, black and white animated movie. It's got a lot of revolutionary themes. It kind of set the stage for like, these like more politically minded best like stuff like Flea from a few years ago. Kind of set the stage for stuff like that to be nominated. That being said, I mean, Ratatouille is Ratatouille is Ratatouille. You got to give it to Ratatouille. There's no question about that. I think,
and not to mention, you had Brad Bird directing that as well.
I don't think there's. As far as stunts go, what?
I was just gonna point out if you were gonna notice, because Kogias, I don't. First off, I don't think that would have been possible. But he points out that the Aqua Teen Hunger Force movie should have gotten nominated.
Oh man, I mean, not after that whole thing where they did the viral marketing and the Boston Police Department thought it was bombs. There was no way they were touching that movie after that.
Yeah, and Keeper Colby, yes, I still have yet to see Surf's Up. I don't know why. Again, I don't know why I haven't seen it yet, but I'm going to.
I mean, honestly, this year there were a lot of like low-key kind of like mid-animated movies. Like we have like the Simpsons movie, Shrek the Third, Beowulf, TMNT, B movie. I think the only one that you could maybe make an argument for, and I really wouldn't replace any of the 3 actual nominations with this one, is Meet the Robinsons.
Now that would have been a good nomination. That would have been good if that had received an Oscar nomination.
But I don't want to swap out Persepolis for it because, like I said, I feel like Persepolis being nominated here kind of set the stage for more politically minded animated films to be nominated in the future. It really was kind of an important nomination in this field. So,
yeah,
I don't know. And I won't swap Meet the Robinsons for Surf's Up. I certainly won't swap it for Ratatouille.
Oh, of course not. No, but if only they would have been able to squeeze in one more, then it should have been Meet the Robinsons.
And honestly, low key, if they needed to squeeze in 2 more to make it around 5, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not even saying this ironically. I'm not saying this is a joke. I'm saying it purely based on cultural impact. Fucking B movie.
Yeah. Yeah, when B movie became just like the first Shrek film, it too became another big thing in the meme culture.
I mean, B movie has way more cultural impact than something like Shrek the Third or the TMNT movie or Beowulf.
Right.
I would argue that B movie even has way more cultural impact than the Simpsons movie did.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, but I assure you, just for Surf's Up, it's on my list of what I want to review next. For one thing, so.
And honestly, Kogias, I could totally see you. I don't necessarily agree with the Ratatouille thing. I think Ratatouille is pretty hard to beat. I could absolutely see an argument for Meet the Robinsons being better than Surf's Up. I just have a really big soft spot for Surf's Up. Really big soft spot. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, next up, it's the final year. Well, wait, actually, oh my god, this is so stupid. Okay, so we're gonna go. This is the fight. This is a 3 nomination year. The 2009 is gonna be 5 nominations. 2010 is going to be 3 nominations, and then I think from that point forward, we finally get a consistent 5 each. My God, it took them way too long to get to that. All right, so let's get into it. 2008, we have Wall-E, we have Bolt, and we have Kung Fu Panda. Pretty predictable, safe choices here. Out of the 3, I think Wall-E is definitely the one that should have won and did win, so that's good.
Yes. No, and to me, I think all 3 were good choices to have been nominated, and with Wall-E
where the
having
fuck
won
is
that.
Ponyo? Where the fuck is Ponyo on here?
That's true, and you know what? The fact that even as of currently, like not a lot of the Hayao Miyazaki and Studio Ghibli films being receiving nominations for Best Animated Feature.
I'm kind of real because I'm gonna be honest with you, Eli. Like Ponyo and Mononoke are honestly like tied for my favorite Ghibli movie. Because Mononoke is like the epic Ghibli movie, and Ponyo is like the ultimate like slice of life Ghibli movie. Like I love them both equally.
Yeah.
Horton Hears a Who. Like,
oh yes,
I could definitely make an argument for that being above Bolt. I'm not a big fan of Bolt. I mean, we have Madagascar too, but they didn't even nominate the first Madagascar.
No, we also have
Igor. I mean, it was a pretty slow year for animation overall, honestly.
Yeah, 2008 was a very interesting year for animated films. Not to say it was a bad year and all that, not in a negative way. Also, we also had the Clone Wars movie, which there's no way that would have gotten a nomination.
There's absolutely no way that would have been nominated. Yeah.
As much as I love the Clone Wars animated movie, still just
the Tales of Despero, like Igor, like weird crap like that.
Yeah, very
fucking
like
Open
definitely
Season 2. Oh, Space Chimps, the cinematic classic Space Chimps.
Oh, I remember that definitely. And there was I don't know if I think this I want to say this came I think it did come out that same year too. The speaking of space, because that one animated film with that's computer animated with bugs going into space.
Fly Me to the Moon, baby.
Yes, that one. Because I think
so. Yeah, a lot of weird animated stuff coming out this year, man.
Yeah, but just overall, like those that did get nominated, the following year.
I mean, Wall-E is better than anything that we've mentioned, right? I think that's pretty fair to say. Wall-E absolutely deserves to. Except Ponyo, I would vote Ponyo over Wall-E as much as I do like Wall-E.
Yeah, but as per se, Kung Fu Panda and Bolt, you don't have that much left for them.
I like Kung Fu Panda quite a bit. Bolt, I think, is one of the more mid-Disney movies just in general, which is to say it's very much in the middle of the pack. Like, if I was ranking the 60-ish Disney movies, the Walt Disney Animation Studios movies, Bolt would be, like, right there at, like, number 35, Like, it's right in the middle. It's not doing a lot bad. It's not doing a lot great.
Uh-huh.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, I was just going to quickly comment because another thing on Wall-E, because it's so obvious that even Wall-E, like, of course, it deserved the win for Best Animated Feature. How much of a huge impact that left off, and Andrew Stanton post Finding Nemo and with what he brought to this was also unlike anything.
Yeah. It was a great 1-2 punch from Stanton, for sure.
Absolutely. And
then the sad thing is that Andrew Stanton, do you remember the live action movie that he did?
John Carter, indeed.
Yep. He did freaking John Carter, man. Oh, that sucked. That took his career back like 10 years.
And honestly, it was not Andrew's fault, because poor Andrew Stanton, because I'm sure he really tried his damnness to try to do good for John Carter. Not to mention that John Carter, it was in development hell for many years and
At
decades,
least it
and
wasn't the Lone Ranger.
no, I mean, I don't know, like I don't know if John Carter would be up to that level of it being bad compared to say Lone Ranger. I
No, I
don't know
feel
about
like
that.
Lone Ranger is very infamously bad. John Carter is pretty infamously like just mid.
It's okay for what it is, I guess. That kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
So moving on, 2009, we have Up, Coraline, Fantastic Mr. Fox, The Princess and the Frog, and The Secret of the Kells.
Yep.
And the Kells, of course, is Kelsey Grammer, because that's what Dragon and I call Kelsey Grammer. We call him the Kells.
Yes. You just like both you and Dragon just have a funny way of like whenever like Kelsey Grammer or David Hyde Pierce are brought up. So
Okay, so rock solid lineup, man. Seriously, like honestly, like besides Princess and the Frog, which I still respect. I think Princess and the Frog definitely has some story issues. I still like it a lot. I think literally any of the other four. I'm guessing you haven't seen Secret of Kells.
yep, that too.
Okay, the cartoon saloon movies, just in general, which I'm sure we'll get into as we go along. They're very much worth watching. I really like them.
Oh, I mean, I'm not doubting you because at some point I would be down to watch those and also to review them, definitely.
Okay, so honestly though, like especially Coraline and Fantastic Mr. Fox, like Up is one of those things where I don't think Pixar is ever going to top Married Life as far as just the sheer artistic, like that is like their masterpiece. That is their magnum opus as a studio. And the rest of the movie is good. The rest of the movie is really, really good. But it peaks. You got to admit it peaks there. Whereas Coraline, I feel like Coraline now is like even more respected than Nightmare Before Christmas was in its like heyday. And I feel like Fantastic Mr. Fox, again, that's like the Letterboxd film bro favorite. So like any one of these three, I could totally see winning. What do you think?
Sorry about that. I got interrupted. I should have known this was coming on my end.
It's all good. Let's see. As far as the snubs, we have like not much. Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, which is kind of a surprising snub. We have Jim Carrey's Christmas Carol, which again, just they're just shutting out Robert Zemeckis at that point.
Yeah, post Castaway.
Monsters versus Aliens, which again with the mid, I've heard very, very, very like mediocre things about that thing.
Well, I mean, for me, because I definitely love Monsters versus Aliens. I'm one of those that I really enjoy it for what it is. I understand it may not have been the best, but it has its fans, and I'm one of them. So
fair enough.
Yeah,
but I don't. For me, though, just looking at the lineup, I don't know. Maybe no, I wouldn't even swap Cloudy with Princess and the Frog because Princess and the Frog does have a lot of cultural impact. I think they got it right, and I think I don't know. As much as I do think that Coraline or Fantastic Mr. Fox would have been more cool wins, I think Up definitely people very much hold that movie in regard of like, okay, that was like almost like the height of the Pixar Renaissance. So I think I think this was a pretty good year overall. All right. So moving on to 2010, got Toy Story 3, How to Train Your Dragon, and The Illusionist, which I have never seen. I barely even remember that movie. I barely even remember hearing about it. I think Toy Story 3 versus How to Train Your Dragon is low-key the toughest matchup that we've had so far. Would you agree to that?
Yeah, I would. I definitely would agree to that.
But
Because let's face
surprisingly,
it,
there's some really shocking snubs here, though. some shocking snubs, specifically Tangled and Megamind.
Yeah, and I mean, what's say on the first Despicable Me?
Yeah, sure, sure, sure.
To think
I
that,
mean, I
and
don't think those two are as like I don't think Megamind is as fondly remembered as those two, but yeah.
and to
It's just
think,
weird because it's like this is the last year that they're going to do the 3 nominations thing, and there's 2 movies that very clearly have a big relevance, big staying power, and obviously Despicable Me as well obviously has big staying power. Like, I don't get it. And The Illusionist, I don't know. I like I'm sure The Illusionist is good, but like it's one of those things where it's almost kind of like the Academy's like, okay, we have to nominate something that's not from a big studio.
right?
So I don't know.
Then,
This year, I definitely think they botched it, which is funny because they botched it in the Best Picture category too. Because this is infamously when The King's Speech won over The Social Network. Now, look, I'm not
yep,
saying that they botched it with You Won. I would probably personally vote for How to Train Your Dragon over Toy Story 3, as much as I respect Toy Story 3. But
of
I
course,
totally get the logic of Toy Story 3 winning.
absolutely. And by the way, because I didn't get to say that much about like the 2009 wins nominations, because very quickly, because like definitely there's no doubt that yeah, because following Wall-E, the next film for Pixar definitely deserving the win, of course, being Up with. I mean, how much of an impact that left off as well with what you specifically said on it, Tiki, and the other nominations. Like, I mean, also because with Fantastic Mr. Fox and Coraline, like those were definitely the two biggie stop motion animated films of that year. And yeah, I mean, because like I really, I mean, like I hate to say this too, because like I also have, as of the stream, have yet to see Coraline, but I'm going to. But
Oh,
I really
bro.
I know. I don't know what it is with me sometimes missing out and not seeing and not getting around to good animated films like
That's
this one.
genuinely nuts. I'm not even gonna lie. That's genuinely nuts that you haven't seen Coraline.
I know, I know. I mean, technically, I've seen bits and pieces of it. I know I probably saw it on TV at least once, but that
Uh-huh.
was long. But that was a long time ago. But I mean, again, Fantastic Mr. Fox and Coraline, really like awesome stop motion anime films. I think if anything, and if Up hadn't won, yeah, definitely Coraline would have taken the spot. And I mean, also with Princess and the Frog. I mean, let's face it, because that year was when Disney came back with hand drawn animation. So it was great to see for it to receive a nomination. But jumping to 2010, because yeah, I mean, most prominently, it's definitely it's a tie between how the first How to Train Your Dragon and Toy Story 3 with the impact they left off, and it's unbelievable with what those two films had to offer with their storytelling and with the emotion and power. But
Mhm.
I think it was obvious that out of the three, definitely Toy Story 3 was going to win. Because I mean, even like
I
say
think
when
Toy Story 3 was the bigger deal at the time.
it was,
I honestly think How to Train, like, obviously the Toy Story franchise in general has probably bigger staying power than any animated franchise. I think the first How to Train Your Dragon movie, specifically compared to Toy Story 3, if we're just comparing those two individual movies, I think the first How to Train Your Dragon movie has much more cultural impact than Toy Story 3 nowadays.
absolutely. Yeah, and I was also going to point this out because when people weren't really sure at first, I mean, how Toy Story 3 was going to pay off, but once it came out in
Mhm.
theaters, oh my gosh, because it just, the people just being mind blown and how just heart wrenching and amazing Toy Story 3 turned out.
All right. Anything else to say about that year?
Well, yeah, actually, because I had to mute a couple of times, like, or are we going to at least acknowledge the fact that with Up and Toy Story 3, because those were the next two animated films, even if they were computer animated, to after Beauty and the Beast to be nominated for Best Picture. That was a big deal, also.
Oh no, I mean, yeah, you're right. Like we should probably acknowledge that, even though it doesn't really have to do with the category itself. But yeah,
Yeah.
I always forget about Up. I always remember Toy Story fave. I always forget that Up got it too, and I think that's really
Yep.
cool.
Mm-hmm.
And
I
I
mean,
think the Academy should really like do it more often.
yeah, and who knows? Because even as of the stream, if one day, just one day possibly, who knows? If one day an animated film that gets nominated for Best Picture could, by any chance, win for Best Picture, hard to tell.
That's the
That's an
dream.
interesting thing to think of.
All right.
Okay, but now we come straight to the 2011 nominations to 2012.
Yes. So we have Rango. We have two movies that I barely even remember. I definitely haven't seen. A Cat in Paris and Chico and Rita.
Yeah.
And then Kung Fu Panda 2,
Yep.
Puss in Boots.
Yep.
So I haven't seen any of the Kung Fu Panda sequels, and that's one of my really big blank spots with animation. I know. I really need to see Kung Fu Panda 2, especially. I've heard such good things about it.
Oh yeah, and to be completely honest, I feel like as much as I've enjoyed all of the Kung Fu Panda films, but if I have to choose which is my number one favorite of the Kung Fu Panda films currently, it's number 2.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
I think Arthur Christmas was probably the big snub this year for me.
Yeah, I would agree too, because I mean Arthur Christmas, the fact that Artman that was something of Artman's, it was their second computer animated film after Flushed Away, but this computer animated film of Artman's really was nothing stop motiony like to it, just like what Flushed Away was. And definitely Arthur Christmas, like, being that excellent animated film that's Christmassy, definitely.
Okay, let's see. Chico and Rita, Cat in Paris. I'm guessing you're with me where like I know nothing about either of these movies. I'm sorry, I'm a normie.
I mean, okay, obviously we know what they are, we know they exist, but we just, as of the stream,
I
we just
couldn't
don't
tell
have
you a
full.
damn thing about either of them.
My point being is that we're familiar and aware of those two films, but we just have no full knowledge of what they are, of what the storylines are and all that.
And I also have not watched. I think I saw like maybe half of Puss in Boots on TV in a hotel room one time. And honestly, I'm kind of hesitant to go back to it just because it's like I feel like The Last Wish just spoiled me so much with Puss in Boots.
I mean, I kind of, now that you say it, maybe it might have happened to some other people. But as for me, because I've seen Puss in Boots before, I really, even still, I mean, I really enjoy the first Puss in Boots movie for what it is. But there's no denying that, and I won't deny, because when The Last Wish stepped in, oh yeah, because it definitely became the top best film for Puss in Boots in the Shrek franchise.
Mm-hmm.
But until we talk more about Last Wish.
So what do you think about Rango versus Kung Fu Panda 2? Because honestly, like Rango is one of those movies where it's like I respect it. I think the art direction is really on point. I think the character design is really interesting. I think for me, it's probably one of the most egregious. Like, okay, we're just gonna do Liar Revealed again, I guess.
Well, not to mention that at the time that you and Dragon did the 10th anniversary retrospective of Rango, because you brought up that because you and an ex of yours at that time were definitely into, say, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, and hence with Rango and all that.
And we literally like shat ourselves when they had that weird cameo. Like that was fucking crazy.
But it was worth it. But
yeah, no, that was fun for sure. I'm not gonna. That's definitely the most memorable moment from the whole movie for me. I'm not gonna deny that.
But for me, because
I'd probably guess Kung Fu Panda 2 was like maybe definitely a little bit more culturally impactful than Rango at the end of the day.
I mean, I'd say I feel as though probably both were, because definitely Rango deserved that win, in my opinion. And because, like, don't get me started where, like, how much love and appreciation I have for Rango, because definitely it's an underrated gem of an animated film. And because, there had Rango was another one of those animated films where there had not been anything like this in particularly, because with what Gore Verbinski and John Logan brought to that film, and the fact that this is a Nickelodeon animated film, but unlike any of Nickelodeon's past animated films even today. And to think that, because Nickelodeon did end up winning an Oscar. They lost. Jimmy Neutron didn't win, but Rango for sure did. Just
Oh no, and that's true. And a lot of them just didn't even get nominated. Yeah, like the
yeah, not
Wild
even like
Thornberrys movie, the Hey Arnold movie, Rugrats Go Wild. None of those got nominated.
yeah, and we didn't acknowledge that also in 2004. Yeah, the SpongeBob SquarePants movie didn't get nominated either.
Oh, that's yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, that is a major fucking. I don't
But
like
it's hard
that.
to tell. Yeah, but it's hard to tell if it would have gotten a nomination. That's the thing. But just overall, like,
Maybe it would have been like something like the Lego movie where it's just like, oh, that's too popular. That's
ugh.
too commercialism driven.
Yeah, but wait until we get to the Lego movie of
Oh man,
2014.
oh god, I know. That's the most egregious thing that's ever happened in this category,
We're
bar none.
Yeah,
Like
but
it's
we're
not even
almost.
close.
Yeah, but we'll get there shortly. But for me to finish off on this, because Rango, at the end of the day, it definitely it was worth it when it won, and not to mention that Gore Verbinski, he had never done an animated film before, so definitely that was a big challenge for him, and that challenge in the end turned out to be worth it, because with how Rango turned out, the impact it left off, just again, one of those animated films unlike anything, and with its storyline, its animation, still to this day looking amazing, and with its style of western, and with the animals and all that, just amazing.
For sure, for
And
sure.
Kung Fu Panda 2, because it's great that it got nominated too, because yeah, that was Kung Fu Panda 2 was, yeah, the last Kung Fu Panda film to currently be nominated for Best Animated Feature. But that as well, like with the power it left off, and with its beautiful storytelling and emotions, is yeah, I would concur the same for Kung Fu Panda 2 in a very positive way.
All right. Okay, so moving on to 2012. This was a pretty infamous year just because of who actually won. We
Yeah.
have Brave, Frankenweenie, Paranorman, Pirates Band of Misfits, and Wreck It Ralph. And fucking Brave wins. And I think I like Brave better than most people do, but that being said, I can't say it's anything other than mid. Like I
Yeah.
I think I find the characters more endearing than most people do. I genuinely do really like the triplets as comic relief characters. I like King Fargus as a comic relief character.
Yeah.
I do find the mother daughter dynamic, like it's a mother daughter movie, and I think that's a really interesting kind of dynamic, and you don't see
We
that all that much in animation.
Yeah, I was literally about to say, because most of the time we've seen, like, whether if it's father son, or like sometimes father and daughter, like most prominently that was in Little Mermaid. But you're right, because it's not every day in animated films where we see like a mother and daughter storyline, and
Mhm.
with what Brave brought to this was very well done, in my opinion.
That being said, it definitely shouldn't have beat Wreck It Ralph. I mean, let's be real here.
No, I mean, definitely for me, it's like it's a tie between like Brave and Wreck It Ralph. And here's the thing,
Oh,
because
I don't think
I
it's a
rem-
tie at all. I don't think it's a tie at all. I mean, I like I said, I respect Brave more than most people do, but no, I mean, Wreck It Ralph, man. I mean, if you want to talk about a movie that just gets better with age, that's a perfect example. Which is ironic because Ralph Breaks the Internet is one of the most like egregiously like this thing is going to age like spoiled milk movies. But the first one, man, the first Wreck It Ralph, I think is timeless. I genuinely think it's a timeless movie.
Mhm. Um Yeah, because let me correct myself because yeah, I mean, I've loved both Brave and Wreck It Ralph. So for me, it's like tough competition on which one would win for best animated feature.
I
Because
really like Paranorman as well, and I think it's kind of shitty that no Leica movie has ever won. I don't think Paranorman necessarily should have been the Leica movie to win, but I digress.
Coraline could have almost won, but
Coraline or Kubo would have been the two I would have definitely had win. Yeah, we'll get to
yeah.
Kubo in a minute.
And
Um,
also, I feel like pointing this out because I remember when the Oscars happened in 2013, and my family and I, we were watching the Oscars. We were all, when Brave won, we were all just, my parents and I, we were just happy and delighted to see that Brave won for Best Animated Feature and for Best Animated Short. Yeah, Paperman, it won. So to think that Paperman, it was shown alongside with Wreck-It Ralph. Paperman won an Oscar, but Wreck-It Ralph
mhm.
didn't. When you realize that,
Yeah. And then honestly, the other two nominees, like I honestly like this might be a hot take. I like Frankenweenie like quite a bit more than Corpse Bride. For me personally, it just kind of strikes my specific taste a bit more. I don't think it's a great movie, but I think it's a really fun movie. And then
and
Pirates Band of Misfits, again, pretty fun movie.
yeah,
Not necessarily anything mind blowing.
well, I mean, especially because like the next level that took Artman of doing big things in Pirates Band of Misfits with pirates and with the ships and all that. Especially since this was like literally the first time they were doing stop motion with like say digital water and all that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And there's really, really nothing that got snubbed here. I mean, I guess the first Hotel Transylvania's might be the closest, but
I would
whatever.
concur, yeah.
What?
I said I would concur too that yeah, because Hotel
Uh-huh.
Transylvania getting snubbed.
We missed out on Food Fight getting nominated. Could you imagine?
Yeah, that would have been something.
The Lorax, Madagascar 3, Europe's Most Wanted, the Afro Circus one.
Europe's Most Wanted, yeah. Yeah, I don't
Not
think
a great
as
batch
much
this year.
as much as I've enjoyed a couple of those films. Yeah, there's no way, or say like what we haven't acknowledged these. Like, let's face it, I don't think even they would have made it to be nominated. The numerous of Ice Age sequels.
Yeah, the Ice Age sequels just all got shut out, like collectively got shut out. Yeah.
I mean, the first one, it was a good thing it received an Oscar nomination, but I mean, when the sequel stepped in, yeah. But I mean, I will defend the Ice Age sequels because I enjoy them for what they are. I understand that not all of them get the love and appreciation, but still.
Mhm. Okay. Um, let's see. Sorry, one second. Colby says I always forget that Food Fight isn't a 90s movie. Yeah, it
I
does feel like
mean,
a 90s movie.
well, and to think that knowing the history of Food Fight, it was in development like back in the early 2000s. I mean, the Nostalgia Critic it covered the background and history of Food Fight, as we all know. So.
Okay. Colby asks, worst snub, Lego Movie or Tony Collette? Okay, we're gonna get to the Lego Movie. I just looked at the list of nominations, and honestly, like, it's more complicated than like that was a super strong year for animation. So Tony
Yeah.
Collette would be my vote there for a worse snub between the two, just because of the competition. But we'll
Yeah.
get there. We'll get there.
We're getting there. Yeah.
Um, okay, so 2013, the year of Frozen, literally nothing else mattered. This year was like, oh, what's going to win Best Animated Film? Of course, it's going to be Frozen. It's like it was like that obvious, the same way that anytime an Avatar movie is in theaters, like we all know that's going to win Best Visual Effects. You just know it. So
Yep.
Frozen just dominated this year. But let's see what we
Oh, it for
got
sure
was
did.
we got Frozen, we got The Croods, we got Despicable Me 2, which I think that's kind of weird that the second movie got nominated, not the first movie.
Yeah, and as I
Ernest and
acknowledged,
Celine. Yeah,
I
sorry.
was just gonna say, because as was acknowledged, as I brought up a little earlier, because the fact that the first Despicable Me, no nomination for it, but the first sequel, that's a bit odd.
This is probably an unpopular opinion, but like by far my favorite Despicable Me movie is 3, just because of Trey Parker. I love Trey Parker, and I love his character in that movie.
No, I mean I understand your point, yeah, but for me, because I'll go ahead and say it, if I have to choose what be my favorite sequel in the favorite film in the Despicable Me franchise, it's number 2.
I've heard that a lot, but anyways,
Mm-hmm.
so Ernest and Celine, I haven't seen it. I know a bit about it. I've heard good things. And then The Wind Rises. That is Code Geass, correct me if I'm wrong, but you're like ride or die for Wind Rises, right? Yeah. Code Geass says Elsa is possibly my favorite animated character, and I love Frozen so much, but I would vote for The Wind Rises. Yeah. That is one thing I
Nope.
remember about Code Geass. He's ride or die for Wind Rises. Wind Rises is absolutely the one besides Frozen that could have won. You know what's cool though is that I do really, really think that it makes the win for The Boy and the Heron all the more like satisfying when we get to that. So I don't necessarily mind so much, especially because Frozen. I mean, it was a cultural touchstone, man. It really was. You couldn't deny that.
Yep, just like how The Lion King was in '94.
Okay.
But
One
also,
second.
like, I was just because I'll go ahead and say something, because like, yeah, the other nominations, like the Croods getting nominated for best animated feature. I don't know, because I mean, I'm not sure if that would be, say, the winner, but not that I'm complaining that it had got an Oscar nomination, because of course I've seen the Croods, and yeah, I mean I've enjoyed and liked Croods for what it is.
There's a super, super, super egregious snub here. All right. Like to the point where I'm almost like offended. All right. They didn't
Okay.
nominate Freebirds, Eli.
Oh.
I want to emphasize Freebirds, the movie where they go back in time to
Yeah.
stop the first Thanksgiving to take turkey off the menu. How
Oh.
could they not fucking nominate Freebirds? All right, but
Okay.
genuinely, like Monsters University probably could have been up there. Like, I would
Yeah.
probably swap out the Croods with Monsters University.
Yeah. As much as as much as I've enjoyed the Cruise, I would hate to do it to the Cruise, but yeah, sadly I'd swap that for Monsters University. I mean, to think that Monsters University, because yeah, I'm pretty sure Monsters University was the first. I don't know, because I'm pretty sure it was in fact the first ever computer animated film that is supposed to be a prequel. So imagine that, because that would have been something if a computer animated prequel film had been Oscar nominated.
Was Puss in Boots a prequel, or was that a continuation of the Shrek movies?
You know, I hate that I almost forgot about it, because it is like, yeah, it is the first Puss in Boots film. Yes, it is set before the events of the first two Shrek films, and of course before Puss in Boots crosses paths with Shrek and the gang.
Because the Last Wish is like post the Shrek stuff, right?
Correct.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, because like, of course, after the events of the at the time the fourth and last one, and where at the very end of Last Wish you have Puss in Boots returning to Far Far Away.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right, so now we get into the big one, Eli, but I want to emphasize as I read these nominations, what could the Lego movie have swapped out? All right, because I don't think it's as simple as you and I remember it being. So we got Big Hero 6, which was the eventual winner. We have the Box Trolls, How to Train Your Dragon 2,
Right.
Song of the Sea, Princess Kaguya.
Right.
Now, The Tale of Princess Kaguya, that might be the most highly acclaimed non-Miyazaki movie in the entire Ghibli canon. There's no way. There's absolutely no way that thing's not getting nominated. How to Train Your Dragon 2, one of the all-time best animated sequels, in my opinion. Like,
I concur,
just took that franchise to the next level.
I concur, and the fact that How to Train Your Dragon 2 is my favorite in the How to Train Your Dragon films.
Song of the Sea. I know you haven't seen it, but it is my favorite cartoon saloon movie. It's a freaking masterwork. The animation is incredible. The colors are so vibrant. It's got such a cool folktale vibe to it. The Box Trolls, with all due respect to Monkey, because I know that Monkey really loves the Box Trolls, it's probably my least favorite Leica movie. Maybe besides Missing Link, because what even was Missing Link? But
right.
Big Hero 6 low key is the movie that I would swap out for the Lego movie, and that makes the whole situation. Yeah, I don't love Big Hero 6. I really don't.
Wow. I mean, not to say that I'm fully surprised. Like, I mean, okay, not all of us are going to.
You know what a big factor is with fucking Big Hero 6, and I hate to say this? TJ Miller.
Really? You're going to, all because TJ Miller's in Big Hero 6?
No, it's not just because TJ Miller. It's not just because of him, but like I don't know, man. The side characters in that movie, I like the side characters. I feel like that whole franchise was set up to be a TV show more than an actual movie. That's how I feel about that movie. Because I like the side characters are very endearing once you get to know them, but you don't really get to know them. You don't really get to know anyone on the team besides like Hero, Baymax, and arguably probably Fred. But like the rest of them are all just like Honey Lemon is like fucking Bubbles, you know, like and Go-Go is Buttercup, and Wasabi is like the ha-ha funny awkward strong man, you know, and it's like I don't know, there's not really a lot of depth to any of them. That's my issue with Big Hero 6, and I'm sorry, but I do not like the villain plot in that movie either. So I like the world. I love the first act, obviously. Like, I feel like Big Hero 6 is a very similar movie to Brother Bear, just in the fact that the first act, like, if they would have kept the momentum that they had in the first act for both Big Hero 6 and Brother Bear through the whole movie, both of those would be freaking masterpieces. But I just think that they fall off. I don't know. As far as cultural impact, I guess if you want to swap out Box Trolls for Lego Movie, I mean, but like I said, like I still think this is a stacked lineup even without the Lego Movie. So it's not quite as simple as we're kind of remembering. I think this was just a stacked year for animation in general.
Yeah, if I had to, because if I were to swap one of those with Lego Movie, I'd have to go with the Princess one. Take the Princess one out.
No, dude, but I'm telling you, man, there's no way that wasn't getting nominated this year. Absolutely, there's no way.
Okay, but still, just I'd take that out with her and put Lego Movie in there.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, especially
honestly, there's some really like not even mid, but genuinely like pretty good. I wouldn't say great, but pretty good movies that didn't get in either. Like this was a really good year for animation. Like so we have stuff like Peabody and Sherman. We have The Book of Life. Let's see, Penguins of Madagascar, which is a fun kind of Looney Tunes movie. We have When Marnie Was There, which I actually genuinely kind of love. like that movie kind of stole my heart when it came out. That movie, it's for me, it's one of the most emotionally resonant Ghibli movies. So yeah, really, really stacked year for animation.
Yeah, I concur. Yeah, I mean, yeah, because like, yeah, because yeah, I mean, 2014, like a big year. Like, okay, first off, like a big year for DreamWorks. While I'm thinking of it, because like, yeah, because the second How to Train Your Dragon, Mr. Peabody and Sherman, and Penguins of Madagascar. Like, out of all the three, well, obviously the one to receive the Oscar nomination is How to Train Your Dragon 2. But I mean, like, yeah, I mean, with the two other DreamWorks animated films and the other ones that you mentioned, like, yeah, because I concur, of course, that 2014 was a good year for animation, and I mean, it's a shame that no others like that year got nominated, especially the Lego Movie. But I mean, at least the Lego Movie got nominated for Everything Is Awesome, but that was pretty much it. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
All right. So let's go ahead and move on to 2015. We
Yes.
have Inside Out, Anomalisa, Boy and the World, Shaun the Sheep movie, and
Yep.
when Marnie was there was not okay. So Ghibli movies always are listed as kind of like the Japanese release date always gets listed on Google. So okay, I'm glad that When Marnie Was There was nominated. That's cool. That's a cool nomination. This is almost as obvious as Frozen, where it's like this was Inside Out's year. Nothing was going to beat Inside Out. Now,
Yep.
Annalisa is definitely a movie I really want to check out. I've been meaning to check out for a long time. It's a Charlie Kaufman movie. That being said, I need to be in the right frame of mind for Charlie Kaufman movies. I've had Charlie Kaufman movies like really mess me up when I watch them in not the right frame of mind.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I mean, those nominations for that year were some pretty good ones. Like, okay, Shaun the Sheep movie, for example, because the fact that basically it's one of those animated films where there is no dialogue. I mean,
Mhm.
Shaun the Sheep movie, like only having like having grunts and noises. I mean, a little bit of speaking lines, but mainly like in songs and all that. But also like yeah, like Shaun the Sheep managing to deliver a really good story, and with like the emotion and facial expressions from the characters and all that. That was I think yeah, that deserved being nominated. I just would have been nice if it had won, but I mean, as
The
much as
big
I
snub
enjoyed,
here this year, and honestly, I think it's almost as egregious as the Lego movie is the Peanuts movie, man.
yeah, and to think because. Yeah, it's like after the first Ice Age film, Blue Sky would not receive any other Oscar nominations. I mean, that is with the exception of in between like from 2011 to 2012, the one song from the first Rio film, it received an Oscar
Mhm.
nomination, for best song, but lost to Man or Muppet. So that was kind
As
of
it
about
should
it.
have.
But what's that?
I said as it should have.
Of course, yeah. That was very interesting. Those were the only two songs to be nominated that year. But jumping back because I mean, there's no denying, of course, that yeah, because 2015 being the big year for Pixar with Inside Out, I'm pretty sure it was obvious. And when it debuted and everybody saw it, how much of a huge impact Inside Out left off, there was just no doubt that it was going to win. It was going to win for Best Animated Feature the following year.
Uh,
And to think, because yeah, we've acknowledged it, we've acknowledged a little bit of this because yeah, sometimes animated characters being at the Oscars, yeah, because the fact that Woody and Buzz presenting the nominees and they announce the winner, which being their fellow Pixar film of theirs.
yep.
Yep. So yeah, definitely because Inside Out, like the impact that Inside Out left off, unlike anything, Pixar did it once again, and yeah, it's thanks to Pete Docter. He did it before with Monsters Inc. and Up, even though Monsters Inc. didn't win, Up did, and then following Up, the next one for Pete Docter, of course, being Inside Out. So that was totally worth it.
And you know what, Kokios, like on a very personal level, I agree with you about when Marty was there, as much as I do love Up. When Marnie was there, just kind of, it really struck a nerve with me. Like, I'm right there with you. Right there with you on that one. All right. So moving on, 2016. This is another big one. We've got
Yeah.
Zootopia, Kubo and the
Oh
Two
yeah.
Strings, Moana, My Life as a Zucchini, and The Red Turtle. Both of those last two are ones that they look really interesting. I haven't gotten around to them yet, but I should. And honestly, low key, like we've been planning this for a while, and I feel like I kind of slacked off as far as like watching a lot of these.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm just gonna say pretty definitively, I like Zootopia a lot, but Kubo and
Oh,
the
me
Two
too.
Strings absolutely should have won this year.
Hmm. Well, I'm on the same page. Like, well, yeah, because I love Zootopia, and like no hard feelings on Cuba and the Two Strings, but Zootopia definitely it deserved that win, and yeah, because it rightfully so did. And the
Well, I
other
just think that
nomination,
Kubo and the Two Strings is a lot more unique. It's a lot more.
no, I concur. I
It's a
understand.
lot more artistically ambitious. I don't know. Like, there's just something very striking about Kubo and the Two Strings to me.
Uh huh. Yeah, yeah. I think I've almost seen like almost half of the film, but that was a long time ago.
Well, that's another one to put on your watch list for sure.
To fully watch it, yes,
I
properly.
think I saw it like 3 times in theaters. It was one of those movies where I just got swept up in the
Nice.
world.
That's good. Yeah, the other nominations, there were some pretty good ones. And and I just any that the other animated films that came out in 2016 like got snubbed. I mean, anything on those or not really?
There's a few for sure. I really like Storks. That was actually brought up pretty recently. Is like an
Yeah.
underrated movie. The cinematic classic Norm of the North. How dare they snub that?
Uh,
Blue Dragon Five's favorite animated movie of all time, Sausage Party.
uh, and one that I'm thinking of, I'm sure you'd be thinking of too. That yeah, it's a shame that this didn't get nominated, and that being Finding Dory, because Finding Dory was also pretty good. It sucks that that didn't get a nomination.
Finding Dory was good. I don't think people talk as fondly about Finding Dory these days as they do about something like Monsters University. I think it's a solid movie, but I think it's very much in the shadow of the original movie in a
Yeah, and
way
I was
that
about to.
Monsters University can kind of just be its own thing more.
True. And the fact, and I was about to say, because as like obviously Finding Dory is not a bad film, but it just doesn't have the same, and I can understand it just doesn't have the same power as like what Finding Nemo left off.
And you know what, Eli? I'm going to say this might be my most controversial opinion, and I've said this before, and I'll say it again. All right, are you ready for it? I genuinely really like.
Have at it.
I genuinely really like the Trolls movies. Like,
Okay.
I think from a stylistic point of view, they're like fucking candy. Like, they look so good. And they're simple, yeah, but I don't know. They got that kind of like Emperor's New Groove style. Like, I'm not saying they're nearly as actually funny as Emperor's New Groove. I'm just saying they have that kind of like madcap energy to them that I like. I appreciate that the movies, like, they're pretty basic, but they can also go in weird directions. So it's like, I don't know. I'm sorry. I like the Trolls movies more than most people in the animation community. I don't
No, I mean
necessarily think I would have nominated it over any of these, and I certainly would have not nominated over something like Finding Dory, even. But still,
I respect your opinion on it. If you, I mean, obviously there are those like you that have really come to enjoy the troll films, and that's good to
I
hear.
enjoy them just on a pure like like immersive level. Like I don't know if that's the right word. They're just I don't they're just very digestible. They're just very easy to get into for me.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm,
Eli,
and
I don't wanna rush you, man, but like I'm kind of like my clock's kind of ticking here.
I understand.
I
I
got
was
some
gonna.
other stuff
I was just
to
gonna
do.
quickly ask, like, out of all the current troll films, do you have a specific favorite of the troll films?
I honestly think they just get better and better.
Okay, that's good to know.
Like Trolls World Tour was a really good it had some really cool world building in it. And then the third
Yeah, I
one
agree.
has some genuinely pretty good character work in it.
Okay, I agree with that. I especially agree with the second one because yeah, with its creative like take on the different world, like the different like places of the trolls and like what the music that they love and such, the
Mhm.
different types of styled music and all that. Basically, that's very creative in my opinion. I like that stuff, like creative stuff like that in the
All
world of
right.
animation.
Okay, so yeah, we need to I'm sorry, we need to kind of pick up the pace here because I got
Yeah,
stuff to do and then I also have a stream with Peregrine later. So
understandable. Yeah.
okay, so 2017 we have Coco, the everyone's favorite best animated feature nominee ever, The Boss Baby.
Oh yeah, Boss
Even
Baby.
more ridiculous of a nomination than Shark Tale, dude.
True. Yeah.
The Breadwinner, Ferdinand, and Loving Vincent. I've heard really, really good things about both the Breadwinner and Loving Vincent. I really should see them. I don't know why I haven't yet. That being said, how the fuck do you nominate fucking Boss Baby over the Lego Batman movie, dude? Are you high? What is wrong with you?
You know what? I actually concur with that too. That's how do you nominate? How do you do that? How
Yeah.
is that even possible?
I mean, look, this is another year where it's like clearly Coco had it in the bag. It was a deserving
Yes,
winner, but yeah, I don't know. Just Boss Baby is just, it's so weird that that movie's up there.
I know. Yeah, and I mean, yeah, because I mean, I concur with Coco because, and here's the thing: I'm glad to have, as of the stream, a little while back, finally get around to watching Coco. I've been meaning to, and I finally did. And yeah, because Coco, it's just amazing and beautiful with what Leon Courage and the others brought to Coco. And yeah, because I think it was obvious that, like, say, with Inside Out, that it was obvious when Coco first came out that it was without a doubt going to be nominated and for sure win for Best Animated Feature.
And I would wager to say that Coco is the last Pixar masterpiece.
Really?
That's where I'm at. Yeah.
Oh.
I think
You
that
know?
Hoppers is probably my favorite Pixar movie since Coco, and I would not call it a masterpiece per se.
Mm, okay.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, and also like, yeah, the fact that you realize because like the next two Cars films, they didn't get any Oscar nominations, and
Which
I
isn't
guess it's
surprising.
yeah, you're right. That's what I was going for. It's not surprising.
Okay, so 2018 we have Into the Spider-Verse,
Yeah,
Incredibles 2, Isle of Dogs, Mirai, which I don't remember that movie at all. I don't remember it at all, man.
me neither. Sadly,
And Ralph Breaks the Goddamn Internet. Oh, that movie right there might be the absolute worst movie to be nominated. I don't know. I think it's worse than Boss Baby. I think it's worse than Shark Tale.
okay.
And I'm sorry, but Incredibles 2 isn't fucking much better. Incredibles 2 is a decent enough movie, but it should be so much better than it is. Okay?
I mean,
Like this was kind of a whack year. I'm not even gonna lie. This is a whack year for animation, dude. Because Isle of Dogs, I find Isle of Dogs to be a little bit like low key off putting. It's certainly nowhere near as good as Fantastic Mr. Fox. But once again, it's one of those
yeah,
things where it's like Spider Verse definitely should have won, and it did win, thank God. But man,
yeah.
the crop around Spider Verse, dude, is just wonky.
Well, I mean, okay, for me, because okay, look, I mean, I'm glad to know because, like, okay, you don't hate The Incredibles 2. Like, you acknowledge that it's not a
I
bad
feel like The
sequel.
Incredibles 2 is a decent movie when it absolutely should have been a fucking home run, and there's no reason it couldn't have been a home run.
I mean, even like from the behind the scenes and all that, because even Brad just like he was kind of a bit under pressure when it came to finally
Mhm.
getting Incredibles 2 underway. So that's understandable. But I mean, I really enjoy The Incredibles 2 for what it is. I will acknowledge it's not as great, it's not the best, and nor can it top off the first one, that's for
I
sure.
just think
But
the missed potential, man. The missed potential just hurts. It hurts a lot.
yeah, and as for like route, because I don't have that much to say on the other ones except for the Disney and Pixar ones and Spider Verse, but I sorry, Tiki, but I technically will defend Ralph Breaks the Internet because I had enjoyed it, Ralph Breaks the Internet for what it is, and I will acknowledge, I will say, of course, it cannot top off the first Wreck-It Ralph film, that's for sure, but still, I mean, with expanding the world of Wreck-It Ralph, it was really cool, and I think because even as of now, I'm pretty sure the people at Disney and the directors they should have figured that. I'm sure they realized that there's a good chance that some of this stuff in this movie might be outdated, and some of it is. It can be so, but Spider Verse on that hand, because Spider Verse like was the biggie animated film of that year because it definitely left a huge impact. It was unlike anything, and yeah, it's just with its beautiful animation and what would come next with that animation style would still make animation history, from Last Wish and so on. So yeah, just overall, Spider Verse it totally deserved that win that year.
Mhm. Okay, moving on. 2019, we have Toy Story 4, How to Train Your Dragon, The Hidden World. I Lost My Body, Klaus, and Missing Link, which is like by far the weakest of the Leica movies.
Oh,
I have only seen How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World once. I should see it again. Um, I Lost My Body. I don't really. It sounds interesting. I don't really remember much of it.
me neither too. Yeah,
I don't hate Toy Story 4. I think Toy Story 4 is really good for what it is. I
me
think
too.
that it did a solid job of ending out Woody's arc, and now like we're gonna have to see what happens with Woody in Toy Story 5 to see if
True.
like that movie feels like basically like irrelevant now. But God, I'm really losing my voice now. But
Hang
no,
in
but
there.
so I would absolutely, for me, I think Klaus is a masterpiece. And I would absolutely swap Klaus with Toy Story 4.
Yeah,
That's where I'm leaning right now.
Klaus got snubbed.
Klaus was nominated, but I definitely think it should have
Oh.
won.
Okay, yeah. Well, I'm on the same page as you of Toy Story 4. I mean, because I think you kind of took the words right out of my mouth of Toy Story 4. Um, but I mean, and you're right because we'll have to wait. As much as like I am looking forward, and after the newest trailers for Toy Story 5 have came out as of the stream, like I'm down. I'm fully down to like what Toy Story 5 has to offer. So we'll have
No,
to wait
I
and
mean
see.
same. Honestly, the trailer fucking sold me. Honestly.
Yes, it sold. Well, it sold all of us pretty much.
Hmm.
It did because that trailer did answer some things that were some head scratchers, and we're like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
okay,
yeah.
that makes sense now. But yeah, I mean, Toy Story 4. I think it was obvious that when it came out, it was going to be nominated, but compared to that with the other a couple of other animated films that came out that same year, I mean, it was kind of hard to tell, but I think definitely Toy Story 4 being one of the big top ones to possibly win, and it did. And yeah, just it's nice that Toy Story 4 it was the second Toy Story film to win Best Animated Feature, and How to Train Your Dragon 3 because well, I mean, I've seen it before, and yeah, because what did you've seen it before or not? I forget now.
Did I see what?
The third how you've seen it or you've seen it before or not? The third How to
I've
Train
only
Your
seen it
Dragon.
once, and I've
Oh,
seen the
okay.
other two like a bunch of times.
Okay, well that explains it. But I mean, How to Train Your Dragon 3: The Hidden World because that was pretty good. Even a lot of people say it was. Well, I mean, not the really biggest, best of the How to Train Your Dragon films. No, I mean it was nowhere near bad, but it left off a pretty good note with the ending and all that. And to think that the How to Train Your Dragon films, like to think of this, that all three of them, like How to Train Your Dragon is the only animated trilogy where all three films are nominated for Best Animated Feature.
That's actually a really good point. Yeah, you're not wrong there.
There you go. So just overall, like to round things off for me, Toy Story 4, yeah, because like I said, it's nice to see that it did win for Best Animated Feature. It deserved it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Going
now
into the
we enter. I was about to say, now we enter in the 2020s.
Weird year here, of course. We have Soul, we have Onward, we have Over the Moon, which, Eli, I gotta tell you, man, I'm looking at the poster for this movie. I know I've seen it. I don't remember a damn thing about it, except for I remember that Philippa Sue was in it, and it was like very like early post-Hamilton Philippa Sue. Shaun the Sheep, the Shaun the Sheep movie Farmageddon, and Wolf Walkers, which is for me, Wolf Walkers is like right up there with with Song of the Sea as far as my favorite cartoon saloon movie. So that's another just very, very rock solid one.
Right. Yeah, I mean those nominations.
No,
I was just gonna say, like, don't mean to cut you off, but like to say my part on those, on those nominations. No, I mean, not bad ones, and I mean, yeah, because like Pixar, because Pixar sometimes, as we all know, they would sometimes have two movies of theirs coming out the same year. So I think, yeah, this was the first time ever that two Pixar films that came out the same year.
I actually like Onward more than Soul. I don't like Soul as much as most people like Soul, honestly. I think it's by far the weakest Pete Docter movie out of in the Pixar canon, for one.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's not even close. I've got some major story issues with Soul. That's my big hang up with it.
Yeah. Well, as for me, because I have nothing against Soul, I really, even the first time I watched it, like, I recall that my mom and I, because of course it made its way to Disney Plus, like, we actually watched it, I think it was on Christmas Day when we watched it, and I recall that my mom and I, we enjoyed it. Then my dad and I, we watched it when I was with him, and he enjoyed it too. My mom and I, we actually got to see Onward in theaters, and this is
I did too. I was actually at Universal fucking Studios. I saw it at the AMC at Universal Studios, like probably like a couple days before the shutdown happened.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, because I saw, like, my mom and I, we saw, it was between Onward and a screening of North by Northwest, that it was like those were like the last two films at that time that I got to see in theaters right before the pandemic start. But I mean, in all honesty, again, I enjoy and respect Soul for what it is, but nothing against it. I hate going that direction, but I guess I would have to favor Onward being my favorite Pixar film to come out that year. Again, nothing against
If
Soul,
I were voting, like, out of these, I would definitely, honestly, give it to Wolf Walkers. That was the one I was rooting for that year, honestly.
Yeah.
And Cartoon Saloon is another, it's kind of like Leica, where it's like one of those, like, always the bridesmaid, never the bride. Like, it's been nominated a bunch of times, but they never actually won.
Yeah, but just honestly, I mean, like, look, I mean, even though, like, say, Onward didn't win for Best Animated Feature, Soul did. Hey, Pixar still got an Oscar that year, but, you know, while Soul is not a bad Pixar film, and not really, say, a god-awful Pixar film and coming from Pete Docter, no, I mean, genuinely, to me, it deserved that. It deserved that win. Just, yeah, it was a pretty good win for Soul.
I don't dislike Soul. I just think it's really messy. It's a really messy movie for me.
Okay, like in the plot line and such, the storyline,
Mostly, yeah, yeah.
because it's
I
mostly
really don't
bad.
like the fact that Joe Gardner is such an interesting character and he gets turned into a cat for most of the runtime. I really don't like that element of Soul at
I
all.
Yeah, and the direction it takes with like the afterlife and all that, just like they've done that before, like say with Coco, but still, you know.
Yeah. I am not even being ironic when I say that this Over the Moon movie is forgettable as fuck, and Trolls World Tour absolutely should have been nominated for it. I am a Trolls World Tour stan, dude.
which was established already. So, yep.
All right. Oh man.
One
Okay, this is a really strong year. Holy shit. 2021. We get into
2021,
okay, we have Encanto, Flea, which I haven't
right?
seen, but I've heard really, really good things about.
Mm-hmm.
Luca, The Mitchells versus the Machines, which I adore.
Yes.
Raya and The Last Dragon, which is all right. Like, that's definitely the outlier
Mm,
here. But
yeah.
Luca, Mitchells, and Kanto, all three of them. I love Luca to death. I think that the pacing is tighter and the story is tighter in Hoppers, which is why I give the slight edge to Hoppers. But Luca is like, it really hit a nerve for me emotionally, man. And not to mention, I think it's super fucking cool that Luca is it is a pretty queer coded movie. And I think it's really cool how mainstream that is.
Mm-hmm.
Mitchell vs. the Machines, like, I honestly think people should remember that movie more than they actually do. It's a really solid one. That being said, Eli,
Yes.
I adore Encanto. I think Encanto is probably in my top 5 Walt Disney Animation Studios movies ever.
Wow.
Encanto was the reason I went back and rewatched all of them to rank them to make sure of that. I think Encanto is just an absolute masterpiece. I adore everything about that movie, not just because it was popular, not just because of the songs. I
Yeah.
think, I mean, obviously, the songs are a big part of it, but I don't know, like the setting, the music, the atmosphere, the storyline, everything about Encanto to me is, yeah.
No, I mean,
So in a
as
stacked lineup, I still think they made the right choice.
I totally, hey, I totally concur with what you say about Encanto and with like some of the other animated films you mentioned because like yeah, I mean, of course I've seen say Luca, the Mitchell versus the Machines, and I've enjoyed those, and yeah, of course with and Raya the Last Dragon because I've seen it and I've done my review on the Blue channel, and I really enjoyed Raya and the Last Dragon for what it is, and I mean, if I would have to choose, like, which I thought was like I really enjoyed, I don't know, because again, I hate going that path, but like
I thought
I've
Raya
enjoyed.
was very generic, and I don't want to compare it to what I thought it was generic to because I'll get canceled.
Okay, but
You know
Ryan
what
the
I'm
Last Dragon,
insinuating there.
yeah, I'm pretty sure, yeah, but Ryan the Last Dragon, just overall, like I've enjoyed that, and Encanto, yeah, because don't get me wrong, because I really enjoyed Encanto as well, and I concur with what you say, like not just because of how popular it was or anything like that, just with what Encanto left off, just amazing, just really amazing, definitely.
Mhm.
There are no words to describe, just yeah, because you see it right there, and with what you said, just like there you go.
All right. Okay, 2022, another pretty strong year. We have Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein, Marcel the Shell with Shoes on,
Uh,
Puss in
you mean
what?
Pinocchio, not Frankenstein.
Oh no! Oh God! Thank you for correcting
Wrong,
me on
wrong
that.
Del,
Yeah,
wrong Del Toro film.
wrong Guillermo del Toro's. Yes, this
Yeah.
is what happens when when he just puts his name in front of all his movies now.
I mean, yeah, because he
um,
he when did he started doing that actually?
Probably with Pinocchio, I think.
Yeah, because yeah, you're right. Because I do I yeah I now I recall because like it started with Pinocchio, and I guess just from there on, I mean, look, if Del Toro keeps doing this, look, that's his business. If he wants to, if he decides to
I
put his
think it
name,
makes sense when he's adapting like really iconic classic pieces of literature. Like
true.
when he goes back to doing an original thing, I think it would be really hokey for him to keep doing it.
True, because to me, because it's kind of like it's I hate it sometimes. Not that I'm making a huge complaint about it. I just sometimes it's a headache where you've got like a movie, you got like two movies or whatever that have the same title. You know what I'm saying? Just like I mean,
All
you
right.
can still have it. You can still have that. You can still have that same word, but put something else in it. Put another word or two in there. Just,
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah.
So I think the bad guys absolutely should have taken the Sea Beast slot, and I think the Sea Beast is like all right. I
Oh, wait,
saw it. It was
I forget. Did that get nominated or did it not? The bad
no,
guys.
the bad guys did not. No.
Damn, that's a snub right there to me.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I'm glad you concur. I'm
And
sure everybody else would concur too.
I respect Pinocchio. I think Pinocchio is very artistic.
Yes.
Puss in Boots: The Last Wish absolutely should have won this year, I think.
Yes. I concur big time. Like, because definitely,
Like
I know
Puss in Boots: Last Wish is like, I think that's up there with like something like Across the Spider-Verse or the original
yes,
Shrek as far as just like
absolutely,
impact.
absolutely, and it left a huge impact for sure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I was gonna say this because I brought this up before where and you once acknowledged it. I left in one of your past like streams Oscar related. I brought this up where because it definitely felt as though at that time and that year of those nominations that The Last Wish and Del Toro's Pinocchio were two big competitors. Like it seemed like either one of those two was going to win, and
Mm-hmm.
ultimately it was Del Toro's Pinocchio. And of course, like for me, what I have to say about Del Toro's Pinocchio, well, I mean, I've seen it before, and I won't deny because Del Toro's Pinocchio was a really outstanding,
I
well put
respect
stop
it more than I
motion.
actively enjoy watching it. That's the best way I can describe that movie and my thoughts on that movie,
Yeah,
if
and you
that makes
realize that
sense.
you realize that 2022 it was technically a big year for a lot of Pinocchio materials.
No, it was. Well, yeah, you had that, and then you had the cinematic classic Pinocchio, the Untold Story, or whatever the fuck the Rob Schneider one was. Or the Pauly
Yeah,
Shore one. I'm sorry, the Pauly
yeah,
Shore
yeah,
one.
yeah. The poorly dubbed film with Pauly Shore. Yeah, American dub that is. It went in that same. It went in that sadly went that same route as Dougal.
Father, when can I leave to be on my own? My own.
Even with what Doug and Rob had to say about that in their first viewing. But that and Disney's
Thank
live
God
action.
Lightyear didn't get nominated because Lightyear fucking sucks.
If I can just say this,
It
like,
sucks.
if I can
I
say
hate
this,
it. All right,
if I
go
can
ahead.
say
Go ahead. Say your
if
piece.
if I can say this, sorry, Lightyear, Lightyear, I like it was okay. I liked it for what it is, but if I'm very smart on this when I say this, like Buzz Lightyear Star Command, it takes the icing on the cake. So
It absolutely should. Like, that was the problem with Lightyear. Like, it didn't have to
yes,
just be like a Buzz Lightyear or Star Command movie, but there was so much iconography from that show that they just left off the table.
agreed. Yeah. And even with what you and Dragon had to say about that when you did your retrospective of The Adventure Begins, like if you recall, but with the other nominations, like yeah, because like I said, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. As much as I enjoyed Del Toro's Pinocchio, I've said my part on that. Last Wish, it definitely should have won, but yeah, still. Uh, the Turning Red, yeah, Turning Red, because now that was, of course. Here's the thing, because at that time, people
Mark
didn't know
Feldman,
what.
no, this was a rock solid lineup, dude. Like, you just swap the Sea Beast out, which the Sea Beast is good. It's just not great. You swap that out with the bad guys. This genuinely becomes maybe the best lineup in the entire category history, because Marcel the Shell with Shoes On is rock solid as well. Turning Red, Puss in
Yes,
Boots, Guillermo del
that
Toro's
one too.
Frankenstein.
Yeah. But I was also going to say, like, at that time, like, when Turning Red and Lightyear were coming out, because people were more excited for Lightyear than, say, Turning Red. But when Turning Red came out first, well, to everybody's surprise, that was amazing. And
Mhm.
even after that came out, we were all still excited and pumped for Lightyear. But when Lightyear came out, well, the results, yeah, sadly, bad luck. But I
It's
mean,
like,
yeah, because
wow, Andy must have been a really depressed kid if this was his favorite movie.
I, I don't know if
Like,
I don't
I'm
know if I'd go.
sorry, Andy. I feel genuinely bad for you now.
Yeah, well, I'm sure as though that for the cartoon, I'm sure as though for the Buzz Lightyear cartoon, Andy loved it more. I guess we can view that, but just overall, and here's another thing, because
We
we
have
cannot
Nate Thomas randomly just coming up. Lightyear sucks. Yeah, it does, Nate. Hell yeah.
Okay, but I was also going to point this out because that's Nate's one of my friends, by the way. Yeah, because
Oh, nice.
he knew I was going to be doing this technically, but I was just gonna to try and say this because we of course cannot forget to mention, like, with Del Toro's Pinocchio film having won, because Del Toro made a very good point about animation. I'm sure you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh, of course he did. Yeah, and frankly, I wish the animation industry itself would like take itself more seriously. Um,
Exactly.
but that being said, I think Del Toro's win was more of kind of a cult of personality thing. I feel like they gave Del Toro the win more than they gave the movie the win, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and you realize this, that Pinocchio was the second stop motion animated film to win since Curse of the Were Rabbit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. By the way, because Nate, if you're still here, I'm sure you are, because you missed it. You showed up late because uh, Tiki here, he's on the same page as me. We both love Over the Hedge because
Yeah,
Nate
yeah.
doesn't.
Sorry, Nate.
Now,
I
Nate,
genuinely think it's one of my favorite DreamWorks films, at least one of my favorite DreamWorks, like, straight comedies.
right, and just please, Nate, you take it easy on my friend Tiki, okay? I'll make sure of that. So I'll make sure that you better go easy on Tiki. So
All right. Thank you, Eli. Thank you for defending my honor. All
yeah,
right.
we're
Okay,
all
my voice
entitled.
is
Look,
literally
we're
about to die. We need
we're
to get through these, man.
I, I was just gonna quickly say we're all entitled to our opinions on animated films. That's all that matters.
Okay. All
And
right. Next up, 2023.
Nate also points out quickly that he hates Frozen. So
I don't hate Frozen, but like I can see how one would.
yeah. But
Okay.
I think you're on the same page as Nate because he loves Prince of Egypt.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But I think there's room
Imagine,
for movies like Prince of Egypt and movies like Over the Hedge, though. I don't know.
imagine if Prince of Egypt got an Oscar nomination. That would have been something.
It totally would have if the category existed when that came out. It absolutely would have.
Very true. Very true. All right.
Okay.
So 2023 is we're up to now.
Yeah, we got The Boy and the Heron. We got Elemental, Nimona, Robot Dreams, which I haven't seen, but I've heard good things about, and of course, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Couple things to
Right.
mention here. Nimona, I respect the hell out of just for the representation. Like, I think it's so cool to have a movie that is like so outwardly queer, and yet it doesn't make the queerness of the characters into like a joke or a stereotype. It's just part of who they are. I don't know. That movie really strikes a nerve with me.
And to think
Elemental is one of the most bland Pixar movies they've ever done. I'm sorry. That's my opinion.
I liked Elemental for what it was. So
now I'm gonna get into some really controversial territory. All right, Across the Spider-Verse, obviously, like from a technical level, it's a masterpiece.
yeah.
But at what cost? Because
Yeah.
I feel like Across the Spider-Verse almost broke the animation industry with, and I feel like that whole situation exposed not just with animation, but with just visual effects in general, like the crunch and like the shitty work conditions that these people are under. And because of that, man, look, I'm glad it didn't win. And it's hard for me to look at that movie the same way again, especially because it's like they had they had the hubris to think that they were going to just fucking come out with the next movie like not even a year after this, and they ended it on like a huge cliffhanger, which I don't care if you end on a cliffhanger, but there was literally like no resolution to any of the story beats. I don't know. I just think the whole situation with Across the Spider-Verse and the animation stuff that happened with it is, man, it is very, very, very
Yeah.
Okay, Nate, I'm
Not
just
to,
gonna say, like, not every movie needs to have politics. You're absolutely right, but I don't
yes.
think that diversity and representation is necessarily politics. And
It
I
just
think that
it
and
just
I
seems
think that
unnecessary.
like I don't think every animated movie has to have queer characters in it, but I respect the ones that do because like there are a lot of queer kids right now growing up. And
Yeah,
I
it
think
just
that if you put that sort of stuff in animated movies, it normalizes it. So I don't want to get into a political debate. That's just my take.
yeah, we
Anyways.
just they just don't have to overdo it with that stuff in films. That's how I put at it. So
No, I mean I agree. Like not everything has to be like that, but like something like
yeah.
Luca or something like Demona, like absolutely has its place, though. I think
Mm-hmm. And I was
you
also going
just
to
have to
comment
be
this.
respectful about it, and you have to be really like you have to be good intent. Like I agree. I don't like when a movie like force feeds representation just because they think it's going to tick a box. You know, that's what I don't like. But like I said, like something like Demona or even something like Soul, as much as I'm a little bit mixed on Soul, but something like Demona, something like Luca.
Yeah, and yeah, Nate, you're right. Yeah, I feel like we
Nate,
have
I hear you. I hear you. I'm not like
for
I'm
no
just
for
yeah.
no reason whatsoever where it doesn't just it like this doesn't make any sense for it to be in there. Like that's the whole thing.
Uh-huh.
And I was
Okay.
also gonna I was gonna comment this too about Across the Spider Verse because not to mention Miller and Lord, like the
The
behind the
whole
scenes
situation
story.
is just icky to me, man. It's just icky to me. It casts like a dark shadow over that movie,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
I think they. Yeah, I mean, look, I have nothing against those two guys. They're really good. They've been really good at what they've done in the film industry. But I
I'm
definitely
looking
that
forward
was
to Project Hail Mary. I think that's going to be pretty good.
yeah, and
I
at
just think they
least
should
for
stick to live action.
yeah, but at least for the third and it's going to be the third and last animated Spider-Man film of the Spider-Verse where they have been taking their time on that. So at least like that's been a good thing, unlike what happened
Oh,
with Across the Spider-Verse. But in overall, The Boy and the Heroine, it's nice to see that, you know, we had another Hayao Miyazaki and Studio Ghibli film to win Best Animated Feature after Spirited Away. That was great to see.
and I love the fact that it is likely going to be Miyazaki's last movie. And as much as I do respect the hell out of The Wind Rises, I really do respect the hell out of that movie. I think The Boy and the Heron is like a way more kind of like perfect, like The
Uh,
Wind Rises almost feels like kind of like a quiet epilogue of Miyazaki's career, whereas The Boy and the Heron feels like a grand finale, if that makes sense.
I mean, that's the word I was looking for. Grand finale, just like
Oh,
riding off into the sunset for Miyazaki.
right. All
But I
right.
mean, and is like has there been any word like is Miyazaki finally going to be soon like retiring? Like what's going on?
Look, I don't know. I haven't really been following it at all. I don't because Miyazaki, man, he's been saying he's gonna retire since like Princess Mononoke. You have to remember that.
Nate, I'm sorry because like I don't we all have trouble pronouncing certain words like because I misspelled the name of of the title of the boy and so on. But oh well, it is what it is.
All right. So let's move on. I'm sorry, Eli. My voice is just it's going, man. It's going like it's on its last fumes. As I'm running on fumes for my voice here.
Right.
Oh God! Don't do a marathon of karaoke the night before you have to record 2 podcasts, kids. Okay. Last year, 2024, we have Flow, Inside Out 2, Memoir of a Snail,
Oh yeah.
Wallace and Gromit, Vengeance Most Foul, and The Wild Robot.
Yeah.
Really, really solid crop.
Yeah.
I actually have not seen the Wallace and Gromit one yet.
Me neither.
I respect the hell out of Memoir of a Snail. I really, really like Memoir of a Snail a lot. I think that one's actually pretty underrated. The Wild Robot, I think I like. I appreciate it. I low-key think it's a little overrated.
Mm-hmm.
I'll put it this way, as far as like Chris Sanders stuff, I don't think it's anywhere near the original Lilo and Stitch or the original How to Train Your Dragon. I don't think it's anywhere near either of those movies.
Yeah.
It's good. It's a good movie. I don't know.
Yeah.
Flow is a really interesting winner because it's the first independent studio to win.
And the fact
and
that
I like Flow a lot, and Flow's a really interesting movie.
Yeah, and Flow,
But
I was just going to point this out that Flow, it used an animation system that is totally free for anybody. Like you can use that on your phones and such. And to think that we have an animated film that used that animation software to win Best Picture, like, hey, by this point, anything's possible.
That is cool, but at the same time, Flow very much has like a pretty distinct like cell shaded video game look to it through that animation software that I don't find the most appealing. I respect it. I respect the hell out of it.
Yeah.
Flow is not a very rewatchable movie. That's all I have to say about Flow. For me, it's just not very rewatchable.
And I kind of feel like because out of all the nominations for that year, because I want to say like it's like those like the ones that seemed like the biggies and like big competitions were like say Inside Out 2, The Wild Robot, and Flow. Like nothing against like Vengeance Most Foul and what was the other one?
The Wild Robot, Memoir of a Snail, Inside Out 2.
Well, I said Inside Out 2. I mentioned those. I said the other, like Vengeance Most Foul and The Snail. Like, yeah, because, okay, obviously those ones did pretty good. But, yeah, because it definitely feels as though that between Inside Out 2, The Wild Robot, and Flow, those were the biggies. And hard to tell. It was hard to tell at first, like, which one of those could have won. But, I mean, it was nice to see that yet another animated film that was unlike anything. You know, it won for Best Animated Feature, and that being Flow. And out of all of those animated films that came out in theaters, Inside Out 2 was actually the only one I had seen. Me and my dad, we saw it in theaters, and yeah, I mean, Inside Out 2, like that was amazing. And I'd say, like, you know, it's between that and the first Inside Out film.
Inside Out 2 for me is anxiety as a character. And Anxiety might be one of my absolute all-time top-tier Pixar characters.
I think for a good majority of us, we can relate to anxiety.
Oh, no doubt, obviously.
No kidding, especially for you and me.
My joke is that like all the emotions in my head are just anxiety. I have no other emotion.
It's like if you see yourself in the world of Inside Out, the only emotions you would have are all anxiety. It's just like best example, that bus driver, all the emotions he has are just angers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Inside Out 2, it's like I don't think the character arcs are quite as emotionally potent in that movie. I don't think Riley's journey is as potent in that movie. But I think from a creative level, that movie is a goddamn playground. Like that movie does so much with the setting. So yeah. I really, and low key, I respect Flow and I think it's a cool win. But if I were voting, I would probably vote for Inside Out 2 over Flow, and that's probably an unpopular opinion. And it's gonna make the Letterboxd like film bro crowd hate me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and I've also seen I didn't see it in the theaters, but I eventually saw it on Blu-ray, The Wild Robot, and I really enjoyed The Wild Robot for what it is. And I respect and understand with what you said about The Wild Robot in comparison to Chris Andrews' past animated projects. I get it, but that's not to say there's really anything terrible about The Wild Robot for sure. I also do recall, even though that both you and I we have yet to see Vengeance Most Foul. I remember because you yourself said when it was announced that the premise, like you really liked the premise. You remember that, don't you?
Yeah.
Like you apparently you basically overall enjoyed you liked the premise of Vengeance Most Foul more than the Curse of the Were Rabbit. Yeah.
No, that's true. That's definitely true.
The fact that because we have like most prominently Feathers McGraw is the main antagonist, the fan favorite villain of Wallace and Gromit. That's great to see. But until like both you and I, we see Vengeance of Most Foul after the stream, just like yeah. But I think overall, Flow, just in the end, it was a well-deserved win, at least in my opinion. Again, just being that animated film that was unlike anything different in a good way. Just yeah.
All right. Next up, 2025, which obviously we don't know the winner yet. We won't know until tomorrow. We got Arco, Elio, K-pop Demon Hunters, Little Amelie, or the character of Rain and Zootopia 2. I think this has been a little bit of an underwhelming year for animation. Like, I'm not really into K-pop. K-pop Demon Hunters is one of those things where it's like, I totally see how if you're into that, it'd be like the best movie of all time, dude. Like I totally get that. But like for me, I see it and it's like, yeah, it's fun. It's a fun little movie. Like that's about the value that I have for K-pop Demon Hunters. Is just it's fun. Elio, I really like certain elements of Elio. I really do. Certain elements of Elio just really sing. But it's so obvious when you watch that movie that it was chopped up and in production hell for a long time. Zootopia 2, I'm one of the people that it's not a bad movie. I had a fun time with it. It just did not stick with me, and I really don't like that goddamn otter character. That otter character drove me nuts. And then Arco would be my vote here because Arco was super original. It was kind of wearing its Ghibli influences on its sleeve a little too much, but it was a sweet coming of age story with some really interesting sci-fi kind of like time travel twists to it. And then I have not seen Little Amelie, but I've heard good things about it. So that's where I'm at with this year's crop.
I don't have much to say about those, with the exception of Elio and Zootopia 2, because
it's the best film of the first half of the 2020s. Oh, Kiosk. Oh, dude. Oh, man. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, bro. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. Okay, we have Star Glitch Void Circus. No, The Day the Earth Blew Up, dude. I love The Day that the Earth Blew Up. That was easily my favorite animated movie of the year. And I'm just assuming it didn't get nominated because it got such a low profile like theatrical release. But yeah, I really do think that should have been in consideration for sure. Nice to see you, Claude. Glad you enjoyed Zootopia 2. I enjoy it, but like I said, for me, I certainly wouldn't call it one of Disney's best sequels. I mean, I can sign off on that. It's up there as far as sequels go. I don't think I like it as much as the original. The villain is better, but I don't know. I think the mystery is a little bit more underwhelming. The otter, Eli. What do you think of the otter in Zootopia 2? Oh, okay. Eli is preoccupied right now. That's okay. So that's about it, y'all. Who do you think is going to win? Do you think K-pop just has it in the bag, or do you think something like Arco could come out with like a surprise victory? I think K-pop has it in the bag. I think with K-pop, the bigger question is if it's going to beat "I Lied to You" from Sinners for best original song. So yeah, anyways, while we wait for Eli to get back, it's good to see some new faces in the chat. If K-pop doesn't win, I will feel sad. Well, then I hope for your sake it does win. All right, Eli, what's up?
Sorry, I had to be AFK for a couple of minutes, but I appreciate you taking the time to talk. But I don't have that much to say on the nominees for this year because, I mean, I've only really seen Zootopia 2. Elio, I didn't see in theaters, but I need to on Disney Plus for one thing. K-pop Demon Hunters, like, I had no idea how much of a huge impact that left off. And as for the others, sadly, I didn't hear about them the time they came out last year.
I got lucky that Arco screened at my theater. Like, my theater doesn't usually screen like art house animated stuff like that.
Right.
And it only screened for like probably less than a week. Like I caught a narrow window with that.
Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah, but just I mean it's hard to tell, like, hopefully a good one is gonna win for tomorrow's Oscars. It's hard to tell. Like I mean I would love for it to be, say, Zootopia 2, but maybe not. Just K-pop Demon Hunters, I don't know, but just overall, I mean, all I can really say is they are some good nominees, and I have no doubt with those animated films that I really had no knowledge of last year. They're good ones, of course. Obviously, they are, hence they got nominated. But just we'll have to wait and see. That's all I can say on my part.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Claude asks, what animated movies from 2026 you have a chance? Do you think have a chance? Okay, look, I love Hoppers. I adore Hoppers. I think Hoppers is one of the best Pixar things they've come out with since Coco, hands down. It's not one of the deeper Pixar movies, but I think it's probably basically the Emperor's New Groove of as far as like Pixar comedies. Like I think it's that good as far as a comedy goes. Other than Hoppers, Hexed could be one of those things where it has potential, but it could definitely flop depending on how it's done, how it's pulled off. But Wildwood is currently my most anticipated my most anticipated animated movie of the rest of the year. It's the new Laika movie, but also importantly, it's based on a children's book by Colin Malloy, who is also the frontman, main vocalist and lyricist for my all-time favorite band, the Decemberists. So I'm very stoked for Wildwood. I'm really, really stoked for Wildwood.
Okay.
And Wildwood, it would be really cool to see Laika finally win one.
Yeah, that would be.
All right, Jesus Christ, Eli, my voice is I seriously need to like lie in the bath for like 2 hours so I can actually like do the golden tikis with Peregrine.
Yeah, I'm a little bit on the same page as you because I gotta take it down with my voice. So yeah.
So Eli, would you like to thank all the folks?
Absolutely. Just thank everybody in the comments who appeared in the chat. So, well, I mean, from Kogias, Star Glitch, Claude, of course, Aquatad, Nate,
Keeper Colby, aka Peregrine.
Yep, my friend Nate who showed up to this, and
Kyle Cullen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he leaving off the "Live Long and Prosper" sign. Appreciate that. The Vulcan salute. Everybody else that attended. Yeah, because I'm glad that. And by the way, because I came up with this idea, like ever since I meant to acknowledge this. Ever since you and Peregrine, Tiki, you did that stream last year going through the the best picture winners and nominees throughout the 2000s, it just got me thinking, you know what? This would be fun if like doing this for the animated films. And yeah, I'm glad that we did this and ultimately end like, yeah, this was pretty
Especially
fun.
because this is the 25th year that they're doing the category, so it was a good milestone year to do it in.
That is true. Yeah, because like I can't believe I didn't fully realize this, that this year marking, well, I mean, almost like up to when like the best animated feature category began, because um just like going through these animated films, and even though some of them that Ichu and I, Tiki, have not yet seen as of the stream, but knowing
And
and
like I said,
acknowledging.
I really should have like seen like taken the time to watch more of them before the stream. I feel bad that I didn't. My schedule's just been crazy.
Yeah, I mean, for me, because I've watched a couple of them, you know, recently. So yeah, talk about a coincidence. But yeah, I mean, just but still, like as I was saying, like talking about these films that each of us have not yet seen as of the stream, but we acknowledge and know that they were good, and with them being nominated, and those that have won, just like yeah, all a lot of fun, and we can only continue to hope for the best, like for tomorrow, like when whomever's going to win, and from there on, just yeah.
All right. Okay, well, thanks again to everyone who joined us in the comments. This was a really fun chat. Tune in a couple hours at 10 p.m. Eastern. Peregrine and I will be going over the winners of the Golden Tikis, which y'all have been voting on in the community polls for the past God knows how many weeks.
I've been Tiki. I think I've told you before. I've also been nominating some of them as well. So
For sure. All right, y'all. Have a good night. See y'all later.
yep, and then look forward to tomorrow's Oscars and all that, and the Golden Tikis.